Bonjour, brave gens d'internet, and welcome to
What the
Famipod, a
fuck?
podcast for family. Your one-stop shop for all the depressing and soul-crushing news coming from the video game industry, like Sony killing physical media and Xbox goes full nuclear, but there's no fallout in sight. I am your host, Ryan Turner, and tonight I am joined by no longer a beautiful Swedish baby boy, but a fully grown Swedish man, the famed developer of the Buddy Signal, Dennis Lofgren. How you doing tonight, dude?
What?
You
We
said
can't
you hate.
rewrite history. No, he is the beautiful Swedish baby boy.
He
This is
doesn't
some
like it.
revisionist bullshit. That's the point. That's why it's funny.
I'm trying to be a good host and a good friend and cater to the likes of you two stooges, and he does not like being called baby boy. So now he's the fully grown Swedish man.
And I'm Curly, and I'm trying to be an ass clown. Fuck that guy. He's the beautiful Swedish baby boy. And whether he likes it or not, it is what he is. You don't choose who you are. You're just born that way, bro.
I mean, I'm the host of this
Sure.
show, so I mostly get to decide how I'm going to intro him, and I mean that's how things are going to go. So I mean, just
Also,
shut
what
up.
the hell did you just say?
Oh, it's French for hello, good people of the internet.
This man started the stream. He's like, Sacre bleu.
He just said like baguette, baguette, baguette. That's what all I heard.
All right. All right. Well, the other person who is being really offensive to French people right now, it's the man most famously known for talking about phallic imagery on the internet. It's Mr. Curly. How
Hey,
you
man,
doing,
if
dude?
I've got a shtick, I've got a shtick. And I mean that in a double entendre way.
I don't think you needed to say that.
I'm tired, man. I'm so tired. But I'm
I
happy
think
to
we're
be here
all
with you
tired.
all.
We're tired. We're going to talk about everything that we're tired about with the gaming industry tonight. But before we do that, it's time for some housekeeping. If you're new to the channel, you can catch us live every Wednesday from 10 to 10:30. That's the just about time that we start on twitch.tv/Famicorp. Um, if you're too busy being sad about all the terrible news coming to the gaming industry and you can't catch us live, you can catch the VOD uploaded every Thursday morning on youtube.com/@Famicorp. And if you need to catch us on the go, you can catch us at all your favorite podcast services such as Spotify, Amazon, and Google Podcasts. Uh, my dudes, it's another rough week in gaming, rough 2 weeks in gaming. I feel like the last like 6 episodes of Famicorp have just been nothing but just like the worst news possible out of the game industry. Meanwhile, the games are crushing it. The games are absolutely killer.
Mhm.
But these Curly, how have you been putting it? What's the
It's we haven't come up with the 2026 term yet, but we're going with right now the Great Rake Debate. It's now a race on who can stomp on as many rakes as hard and fast as possible, right to their fully facial front face and forehead. Like just bam, slapping fucking
face
all
and
day, every
forehead?
day, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do we want to start with the bad news out of Microsoft or the bad news out of Sony first?
Uh,
I mean,
I feel like Microsoft is the biggest one.
That's an interesting take.
I mean, like there's the most things to talk about.
That's fair. Okay.
it's
All right. Well,
definitely the most damning for people's livelihood. That's for sure.
yeah. That's very true. Let me pull up the old article here. Do we have an article for this one, gentlemen? I think we have a. Hold up. My apologies. My apologies, good people. Y'all filibuster for a minute while I find me a good article on the Xbox.
Well,
Wow, y'all are doing a fantastic job.
yes.
Dennis, it looks like you've changed locations. That's interesting.
Yes, I have moved to a different apartment.
For anybody not watching the video version, here's your chance. It's a new, beautiful Swedish baby boy apartment.
Baby man.
You can tell by his little rocket chips on his blankie.
Baby man.
Beautiful Swedish baby man.
Yeah.
I think. Oh wow. Oh, Can you all still hear me? My
Yeah,
computer
you're
just
still
did
there.
like a nonsense
I wouldn't worry
thing
about
right
it.
now.
It's probably
I'm worried
fine.
about it. It's not.
Pretty cringe.
Um, Still been playing some Meat of the Hollower, and boy, the more you play that game, the better it gets, bro. This
Me
shit
too.
popping
I
off.
need to start it.
I think I'm like halfway, just based on like the way the mission structure is. I'm a little past that maybe, but mm, it's it's creeping its way up into them Resident Evil 9 Game of the Year talks, man. It's like
Ooh.
I'm quite enjoying it a good bit. I feel like it's more attuned to what I like the most in video games. So I think it's like it is still hard to be like, wow, this Game Boy looking game. It's up there with the Resident Evil, but it's just so fun to play. So it's just like,
It's
yeah,
still the highest reviewed game of the year as of right now, right?
I don't know. Is that true?
I'm pretty sure. As of July 8th, I'm pretty sure it's the highest.
It's one of those things. I think we've talked about it a good bit of times where I I miss the simple things of older games. Just like drop me in a nice uh environment. Let me just play the game. I don't need to be overproduced, overdone. And I mean the game is designed amazingly, but it's just like it's such a simple thing of like I don't know. Game Boy games just hit different back then. The loop, the art style, all of it. It's just it's one of those things that I like when games let you just kind of use your imagination on things.
Yeah.
I just kind of like that. Like the world.
All right. I have the article. Uh,
The article.
the article. Xbox plans to cut 3,200 jobs, divesting 5 studios. This is from VG Charts. I was going to use The Verge, but The Verge requires you to pay for their stuff. Otherwise, they lock you out. It sucks. Um,
Maybe you just need to value the fact that they write great articles and
I mean, that's fair, but I like I gotta it's a tough economy out there, man. You got to choose where you spend your money. Um, Xbox CEO Asha Sharma announced it is planning to reduce its team by 3,200 employees, with 1,600 planned for today and another 1,600 by the end of current fiscal year, which ends June 30th, 2027. 5 first-party studios that have previously been reported at risk of shutting down are being divested or in the process. The reduction in the size of Xbox includes these studios: Double Fine, Ninja Theory, Arcane Leon, Compulsion, and I can't read Undead Labs. So this news kind of broke last week or 2 weeks ago, and Dennis, you and I kind of talked about it a little bit. We kind of speculated because it was just Compulsion, Double Fine, and Ninja Theory at the time, but it's since expanded. Arcane Leon is now in talks to be like restructuring in some ways. A lot of people are talking about like Blade's probably shelved, and they're probably looking for like a potential buyer or someone to pick them up. Double Fine and Compulsion are both going indie, and
Yes.
then Undead Labs and Ninja Theory are both looking to get acquired. The article kind of read like it was speculated that they had potential suitors, but they have not been mentioned. Um, Gentlemen, let's
Yeah.
unpack this a little bit. How we feel in the wake of the downfall of creativity at Xbox?
I feel like this is just bad news all around, but I think there is something good at least in the fact that these studios get to live on. Unlike some other shutdown studios where it was like, what the fuck were you doing here? And I feel like this is a direct response to that, where instead of just shutting studios down, they have decided to give them chance.
Yeah.
And like because yes, I mean, while these studios did agree to get, or well, some of them did agree to get acquired by Microsoft. Um, this was never the plan.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
And that's not their fault. So they have just been doing what they've been told, which is make quirky games for Game Pass because that's gonna be sustainable if Game Pass makes money, which it didn't. Also, just the fact that like I think it was so gratifying to some extent as someone who's been saying for years that Game Pass wasn't sustainable, to actually hear Asha basically say that in her memo, which is like, oh, our business is hurting, and then we learn that the entire Xbox business has been subsidized by Minecraft,
yeah,
which is insane. So yeah, to some extent there were like some of it for me is like fucking finally there are some actual like well, of course there've been data before to prove it, but like now it's from the actual leadership of Xbox saying that this never worked. um but yeah, also like there are the layoffs as well, and from what I've heard, I think the most devastating one is in software, where they've apparently laid off the entire engineering department, which makes absolutely zero sense. Like, how they're supposed to make anything? They don't have a fucking programmer on staff. And also they made InTech, which is widely considered
They're
to
on their
be
own
one
game
of,
engine.
like, InTech is considered to be is widely considered to be one of the best and most optimized game engines in the industry, and they just laid off the entire engineering department. Like, what the hell? Um, someone, I think it was John Linneman at Digital Foundry. He said that someone he knows who works in at Microsoft or something like that said that it feels like whoever made these choices of who to cut didn't know what they were doing, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, to echo what Dennis is saying, I mean, all this sucks. All this is bad. But like, when I'm like truly thinking of like, what's like the best outcome for any of this, it's just like, well, I would still like to see these studios exist and still make their art. Um, that being said, like at this point, just let it all sink. Like what are we doing with in software now? It's just like, I don't know. Now they are just a shadow of who they were. Like they've lost half their staff. They don't have any programmers. Like what happens to that studio? I mean, it's only a matter of time before they either can't sustain, can't put out a game, or can't put out a game of the same quality. It's just like, what are we doing? Like at this point, like all the Microsoft studios, all of them, they should just all just like honestly, the ship should just go down at this point, and just let these studios all be independent, I guess, or be sold off. Like I don't know what we're doing in here anymore. I don't understand the vision of Xbox. Literally, I don't, and I'm like probably the biggest Xbox fan out of all of us. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here anymore. The fact that we have this whole restructure, this plan, all these cutting, all these layoffs, all this firing, and yet like Game Pass is still the plan. Like as far as what they've told us, like nothing's going to actually change here. Like except those studios, it is not going to probably operate on its own. They're probably going to become a support studio for fucking COD or something along those lines, or a Halo. And it's just like, what are we doing? Like we're now like literally just what I guess a Call of Duty publisher, but like with a hardware platform, which who knows how long that's gonna last. Within the past year, they've kind of shifted to where like, hey, we're gonna focus on exclusives again, and it's like, okay, that's weird. That doesn't make sense. That seems like a knee jerk. also we're gonna close all of our studios. It's just like, well, what happened with the exclusives things? Like, what is it? What the hell are y'all doing? What are we doing here? Like, it's just so confusing. It's disappointing. And like honestly, yeah, I wish the whole thing blew up. Like, just blow it all up and let these studios land where they land. A lot of them probably wouldn't survive, but at this point, I'd rather see id Software be solo indie as well. Like that, this sucks. It fucking sucks, man.
Yeah,
Like,
playing devil's advocate there, I don't know. Like we're talking about 3,200 jobs at this point. If Xbox goes kablooey, you know, they're done. Like we're talking about way more jobs than that lost to the industry. Like a lot of these studios are not surviving without the Xbox's support at this point. They're too bloated. There's too many studios under their umbrella. Yeah, look, $3,200 is nothing to sneeze at. This sucks. This is terrible. This is, I mean, we're on the heels of them cutting 9,000 jobs last year, right? From Microsoft, or 10,000 jobs or something like that. And we're up to and it's another 4,800 from Microsoft, just 32 from Xbox's gaming division.
yeah, but like this doesn't stop the bleeding. This is kind of where I'm at with it. Like,
but the idea is that this is intended to, like, this is Asha. Look, is this good? Absolutely not. Is it the best possible outcome given the what Xbox, like the hole that Xbox is in? Probably. Like what Xbox dug themselves into, probably what Satya Nadella and Microsoft dug Xbox into, and Phil Spencer for that matter, with all these acquisitions that they prioritizing Game Pass and being the best place to play games and having the most games and being this giant bloated publisher. And now they have to quote unquote trim fat and reduce their size down to where they have like just key franchises that they can key off on to hopefully kind of right the ship and save Xbox. And in the meantime, giving these studios a chance to thrive elsewhere. So honestly, I feel like the alternative, them just shutting these 5 studios down, and then or potentially all of Xbox going under, like of the 3 paths that we had in front of us, this is probably the most like ideal.
Well,
It's not, and
I think if you look at it that way, sure, but there weren't just 3 paths ahead of us. Like I
sure.
feel
Well,
like
at right now
the
there is.
the natural move, because the Xbox division is almost like the majority of the Xbox division, if I recall correctly, is the Activision part. Like what I would have done is just spin off Activision again. And then
We weren't happy with Activision though when they were just Activision. Activision was a huge blight on the gaming industry with what's his Bobby Kotick.
yeah,
as
but he's not there anymore.
Right, because of Xbox.
Yeah. So
Right?
spin them
I
off
mean,
again.
if
make a
so,
new,
but yeah,
just spinning them off again doesn't mean Bobby Kotick comes back.
no, but I'm saying that, like, is Activision in a worse place today than they were before Xbox bought them? Not really. I mean,
I think so.
Activision hasn't lost anything.
I mean, they've
Activision,
lost
their
Toys for
cash
Bob
cow.
and
Toys for Bob is an indie, which is better for Toys for Bob.
right, exactly. I'm
yes,
saying
but
for Activision, and
since
as well as Vicarious Visions. Like,
since Microsoft
Vicarious Visions was already
acquired
gone before they were acquired. They were already a COD support studio.
since Microsoft acquired Activision, their cash cow, Call of Duty, has become a shell of its former self. Under Activision's leadership, Call of Duty was still like a fucking insane seller every month. The games were critically acclaimed, and they're not anymore.
That's the Game Pass of it all, though. That's them putting it
that-
on Game Pass.
that's what should have been restructured, though.
I don't think that's the entire situation. Like the fact that they are also not they're critically worse titles now, that's a huge part of it. And I think that's down to something that's happening in the Xbox leadership side. It has to be. Like the games aren't selling as well anymore. They're not like interesting to people. And of course, like they did have Modern Warfare 3, the new one that was still under Activision, but that was like an outlier.
I would also say another path was like the whole idea behind restructuring. Why didn't we address restructuring Game Pass in general? Like rather than shutting down
I
these
still think that's
studios that you
coming.
could make. Yeah, no, but like
I feel
it's
like we
too little,
are.
too late because
I feel like we're on the path of
my point
just
I,
straight
is
up shutting down Game Pass at this point. It
yeah.
doesn't
I
make any
mean,
sense. Or at least doing it the way PlayStation is doing it.
yeah,
they should have done
but
that
I don't
a
think
long time
changing the Game
ago.
Pass model saves these studios because they have to make cuts now. Like otherwise, you're talking about Microsoft canning the entire division. It's the
Well,
rumors. I mean, that's got
that's
no basis or credibility anywhere at the moment. But like that's the idea. Is you feel like they have to make these moves, and that's the way Asha Sharma is delivering it. Is like this is not a viable product that we're pushing at this point. Xbox is not competitive with its other major contemporaries. And in
But
order
they're
to
not going to
get
be
to a place where they
competitive
can
after
be,
they close 5 of their studios either. Like that's my point. Is
and
like
like
they have these
the
amazing
studios
talents.
that they are cutting, those are because basically what Asha Sharma is doing is that she's turning Xbox from this like well, what was supposed to be a house of creativity supported by the juggernaut that is Game Pass, which never became a juggernaut. So that was the failure.
sure.
What they're doing now is instead of focusing on the big franchises, except
Right, similar to
they,
what Ubisoft is doing, right?
except it doesn't make like what the how they're cutting doesn't make any sense apart from the fact that they are spinning off these studios like that is actually like I would say close to the only good choice that they've made here, where like okay, these studios don't make any sense under the new structure, under the new like premise of what Xbox is, so let's spin them off and let them do their own thing. But like if the franchises that they want to focus on are like Call of Duty, Halo, Gears, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein, and Quake, how does it make any sense to cut the entire engineering department in software? Like, how is it supposed to be making um, more Doom and Quake games if the engineering department is gone? Like, that doesn't make any actual
That's
sense.
the only thing that look. It's it doesn't make any sense to me. The only way I can logically make sense of that is redundancy. I mean, they have the software already, and they have people that can probably work those positions because of the more centralized form of management and publishing that they're about to move to, which is another part of this. But I mean, it doesn't make it a good decision. I think it's
But
still
that
very
doesn't
dumb.
make
They
you
they
can't
just took
just
one of their most efficient studios and broke it in half. Like,
exactly like, and also like
Efficient, but is a
you can't just
is
say like,
efficient
oh
equate to
they,
successful in Xbox's eyes, I guess,
you
is the
also
question. Because
can't, like it doesn't make any sense to be like, oh but they already have the engine, they don't have to do anything with it anymore. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like you need to maintain it, and that's what you need the engineering people for. Like, do you know why 343 became the joke of it's the that they turned into, that to the point where they had to like change the name of the studio? The reason was because they created a game engine for the Halo games that then was entirely created by contractors that just kept like churning through the company to the point where nobody knew how the engine worked because it was made by people who aren't there anymore. And
I mean,
that's
what it
why they're
probably
moving to Unreal.
yeah, I was gonna say what it probably turns into is they're gonna be forced to use Unreal Engine to unify all the studios on the same engine and shit. And it's just like, cool, fine, sure. But again, to answer your question, like, does efficient equal successful? It's like, well, this doesn't equal successful either. It's like the
Yeah,
alternative is like, well, now we're probably not gonna get another Doom game. This studio is probably gonna become a support studio for something else.
yeah.
I mean,
And also
that
like,
so Bloomberg, Jason Schreier reported ZeniMax will face a significant overhaul and will pivot to focus on its biggest franchises: Fallout, The Elder Scrolls, Doom, Quake, and Wolfenstein. So I think this isn't the end of Doom by any stretch.
Well, they
So
can
I mean,
say
look,
that, but if they cut the entire engineering department, I don't really know how they're gonna do that. Like that's kind of the criticism
that
where it's
remains to
like
be seen. I can't
their
imagine you
cuts
leave
don't
Doom
make
on the cutting
sense.
floor and be like, yeah, just no more Doom games.
Yeah.
You just released DLC yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it probably boils down to it's like they're probably crunching numbers. It's like how many copies does Doom sell? Like a million, 2 million? They probably look at that and they're like, that ain't it. We need more than that. Or would it? I mean, I'm
I
being
think
just
you still look. You
big
could apply
corporate
that to
brain.
every one of their franchises if it's under the Game Pass model. Like
I
the
think that's
Game Pass
exactly
model
what they're
has to be
doing though.
reworked, and I
It's
think
like
we're about to see that. We're about to see Game Pass change, probably for the worse for consumers, but probably for the better for the studios.
what it reads to me is like they don't give a shit about the Dooms. They don't give a shit about the Psychonauts. They're like, what about the Call of Duties? What about the Fallouts and Oblivions? Fuck everything else. It's like, cool, if that's what it's going to be, that's what's going to be. But like, I
It
don't.
doesn't read that way for Doom for me. Maybe for Psychonauts because that game doesn't move the needle sales wise, even though it's a
No,
masterpiece.
I just
But-
equate those two games in the same lump because of how they, got rid of one of those studios and kept one of them. But like, dude, it's not even the same studio anymore. Like, literally, everyone's gone. It was just a bloodbath there. It's like if I worked there, I certainly wouldn't stay there. But I mean, who knows? Like, I think the id is the most interesting part of this. Like, I don't understand any of the logic there on them keeping that studio. I think you're probably right. They probably wanted to maintain the IP, and that's why they didn't let that one go. But I don't know, because I mean that is one nice thing also about the other studios that are breaking off indie. They let them keep the IP, right, for like the Psychonauts and all that.
Yep. All four of the
That's-
studios will retain their IPs, I believe.
That's good. That's cool.
I mean, I imagine Arcane, if Arcane is shuttered or moved off, I don't know how that works, but obviously Blade is probably done. That sounds like a licensing nightmare
That
anyway,
sucks.
and probably not worth the time or money in Xbox's eyes. Which yeah, it absolutely sucks. I will say, everybody talked about Blade as like a slam dunk. He is kind of a niche superhero.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything from Blade in probably 2 decades at this point.
Also, what is it with Blade and production issues?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's cursed.
really can't get anything off the floor with Blade.
The idea of like a AAA Blade game sounds fucking awesome, and then you put Arcane,
it sounds awesome,
and we got to see a glimpse of the awesome art style they had to it. It's like, dude, that I was sold on that just from fucking CG trailer. Like,
sure, I
mean,
all of us are probably sold. I mean, we consume games at a different rate than mainstream gamers. Like, is Blade like and probably a first person Blade going to move the needle the way Xbox is wanting it to? I would have reservations in thinking so, but I mean, I for sure would play it. But we're the minority of gamers who buy more than one game a month or more than two or three games a year.
So there are a couple of things that I find really interesting about these like layoff news, which is that one, Arcane Leon is not like there is no definitive news about the studio right now because of French labor laws. So they actually have to, they can't just like throw everyone out like they can with an American studio. The other interesting thing is that Machine Games are not affected at all by this because they're a Swedish studio, because there are labor laws in Sweden as well that prevent you from doing shit like this. So I think that is extremely interesting, that maybe we should have proper labor laws. Sounds like a great idea,
I think the Arcane Leon thing is interesting from another perspective because you're talking about all these other studios getting to walk with their IPs. If Arcane walks, do they get to take Dishonored with them? Like, I'd probably,
yeah, of course. Why wouldn't they? Do you think?
I mean, that's a pretty
Do you think Microsoft cares about Dishonored?
That's
If
what
they're
I'm
willing
curious
to
about. I
let go
mean,
with like
like
Psychonauts.
those are beloved titles. That's a huge IP. I'm interested, like more so than anything else that they're losing with these other 4 studios. Um, I I'd be interested to see what the process. I'd be shocked if they shuttered them anyway. Maybe probably a major reduction in staff,
Yeah, I
and
don't
I
think they're
think play
gonna.
just done.
I don't think they're gonna be shut down. I think they're probably gonna be sold. Um, so who do we think acquires the three? Let's assume Arcane gets sold. Who buys Arcane? Who buys Ninja Theory? Who buys Undead Labs? I
I still think it'd
have.
be hilarious if Sony bought Ninja Theory.
I think it would be too. I think they are like the most likely
Yeah.
buyer of Ninja Theory. I think it would be sick if they acquired them and did like a Heavenly Sword 2. Like that would be
Yeah.
that would be so
That'd be sick.
that would be sick. And
I
then
legitimately think that's a
I think
possibility.
I think Undead Labs will be acquired by Krafton. I think that kind of game aligns with the games that Krafton makes or publishes. Like they bought famously they bought the people behind Subnautica, which is another like survival game. They also own like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. So I feel like this game kind of aligns with the kind of games that they tend to publish. As for Arcane, I'm not sure. Considering they're French, Ubisoft makes sense, but I don't think Ubisoft makes sense
Ubisoft's not in a place to
with the
Yeah.
buy
kind of
anybody.
kinds of games
That's
that
who
they
crossed my
make.
mind, but I'm like, I don't see it.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing with Ninja Theory and with Undead Labs is like they have games that are imminent releases, and should these games come out and not do numbers or review critically well, we could be in this same situation a year from now. That they get sold off, but if they get sold off to a publisher that doesn't believe of them after these games come out, then we're right back where we were.
I don't think that's a situation. I mean, if you buy one of these studios, it's not on like such a like um simple like way. Like the way that Microsoft looks at their studios, like it doesn't make any sense. Like it's not like it's so common for them to shut down a studio that have just released a game. Like the leadership believes like, oh, so can you release a game next quarter? And it's like, no, we just released one, we will be done in 3 years. Okay, bye. Like that's the expectation that Microsoft seems to have of their studios, and nobody else looks at their studios that way.
Didn't
So I
didn't
think if
PlayStation just shut down Firewalk for Concord like 2 months after 2 months after they released their game? Like,
I think Concord was a very much a special case. I still don't
I
think they
mean,
should have shut them down, but yeah. Um but I don't think anyone would purchase any of these studios only to then be like, wait a minute, this game didn't sell, because they don't care what the game itself is gonna sell. They care about what they've purchased, the team. Like that's you don't buy the game, you buy the team. And
Yeah.
like if you wanted to buy the game, you would have published it, and like give them money to make the game. But if you buy the studio, you buy the team.
What about THQ Nordic? They like buying stuff.
Not
isn't THQ
anymore.
Nordic part of Embracer Group?
Yeah, they don't buy
Yeah.
things anymore because they didn't get their Saudi game fund money or whatever.
Right. Oh, right.
EA or Saudi Arabia makes a lot of sense whenever that deal goes through. Unfortunately, that's not
Yeah.
an ideal outcome for sure, but it probably is likely for at least one of the three. I don't see Sony acquiring any of them. I don't think Sony's in a position to acquire studios at the moment, and I think it's a really weird move for Xbox to sell off a studio to one of their biggest competitor. like, and maybe the games industry doesn't operate that way, but I look at it like sports. Like you don't trade your a star player or a key player to a division rival.
Well, I I agree with you, but I don't think Ninja Theory is a star player. I
I
think
think
we
they
would
would be
be.
under Sony. I think
I mean,
I
yeah,
think
I
you
also think that they would be stewarded better under Sony, but like it would have been different if we were talking about like the coalition. Like if Microsoft sold off the coalition and Sony bought them, that would be really weird because Gears, even though it's not really as relevant anymore, it's a star player in Microsoft's portfolio.
I think you're looking at the idea, and it's not an apples to apples comparison, but like Xbox had Insomniac under their belt with Sunset Overdrive, and then Insomniac went back and started making games for PlayStation, and now Sunset Overdrive is on PlayStation. Like I feel like you could
Is it?
easily get to a situation where, I, oh, there was rumors of it, and it's not
No,
there yet.
I don't think it is on PlayStation.
I thought it did eventually make its way.
I think you guys might be thinking about the delayed PC release.
Yeah, maybe.
But regardless, the point still stands of like, do you think Xbox probably kicking themselves over not scooping up Insomniac?
Yeah, no, it's not on PlayStation.
And I think
No, I
like,
don't think they care. I think Microsoft looks at Insomniac as the Spider-Man studio, and they wouldn't have been able to do Spider-Man. So, therefore, I don't think they see value in Insomniac.
I also think Sunset Overdrive was not really Insomniac. Like, I mean, it was obviously a partnership there.
It's like a precursor to Spider-Man. The movement
but
in Spider-Man is very predicated off of what they did.
I mean,
in Sunset
Insomniac
Overdrive.
prior to that was still very closely intrinsic to PlayStation. Like, it's like they made a title with Xbox, but I mean, I never looked at them as a potential Xbox studio. They just published a game.
Yeah, and at the time they wanted to be independent anyway. Like to me, the idea of Insomniac making an Xbox game at the time kind of feels like how when you have an actor, like you know, like how a lot of child actors get known for their very specific role, and then they very actively do a role that is so completely different from what they're known for, just to like be different, basically. Like that's kind of how it felt a little bit. It's like, oh, we're gonna make a game with Microsoft. You know,
it feels a little wrong, almost in the same way that Kojima making OD for Xbox feels a little weird and wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it happens.
One thing I worry, because I think it was Kojima said recently that nobody but Xbox understood what OD is about. And I wonder if that's really the case, or if Microsoft were the only ones desperate enough to do anything Hideo Kojima was asking for.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, you want a barefoot Hunter Schafer standing in a doorway? Yeah, we can do that. Whatever you need, Mr. Kojima. Meanwhile, they're sitting there like, what the fuck is this? But it looks like it's he's trying to do what he wanted to do with PT, basically, with P.
And also we have the Miyazaki directed title from FromSoft exclusive to Nintendo, so it's like shit like this happen, or shit like that happens. So it's just like I wouldn't then be like, oh, Nintendo could potentially acquire them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they like. I guess they probably have potential buyers. That's why the news came out the way it did. I wouldn't be surprised if they just stayed independent as well. Like, I don't know. I guess I don't know the inside baseball of these studios. Are they not going to be able to live without a home like that? Can they not operate independently? I don't know. Maybe they don't have the infrastructure to do it, or maybe they just don't want to. But I wouldn't be that shocked if Ninja Theory is like, yeah, we're just going to release Hellblade independently, and hopefully y'all like it and they could just thrive. I mean, there's like, dude, I mean, the
One
entire
thing,
industry, the AAA market is just exploding anyway. It's like, I guess why wouldn't you want to go independent being treated this way from the Xbox, you know? Like,
yeah, one thing that is interesting with all of the studios that they are divesting of is that they do come with a publishing deal.
hmm.
So like for example, well, like the next game from Compulsion is still seems to be still be published by Microsoft. Um, I could see like a situation where I don't know, EA purchases Ninja Theory, and Senua is still published by Xbox
Yeah.
Oh.
because it comes with a publishing deal. So, but yeah, I don't know. And I think also the reason why Ninja Theory particularly is being sold rather than spinning off into uh an independent studio again is because I think their budgets have grown too high to sustain
Mm.
themselves as an independent studio.
Yeah, they are really high production. That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while I think I mean South of Midnight was pretty high budget, but I think it's
Hmm.
possible that maybe Compulsion scales down a little bit, or maybe uh South of Midnight was assisted by contractors or stuff like that. So maybe they're more um self-sustainable. And then I mean with Double Fine, I mean I don't feel like Double Fine was really ever made any sense to be under Microsoft.
It
They were
definitely
like
didn't.
always I don't feel like any of their games in particular feels like they couldn't have done them alone anyway.
Yeah, I think of all the studios, they're the ones that are going to most easily land on their feet. And the one that going back to being independent makes the most sense for. I do worry about Compulsion because South of Midnight was great, but I don't think it moved the needle quite enough. Like, especially not for Xbox. We'll see who how that goes for them, where their funding comes from, what their next game looks like. It's good that they get to keep the South of Midnight IP. That's for sure.
Something that I'm
Um,
quite excited for is actually buying South of Midnight now, or like when this is all done, because I know the money is gonna go directly to Compulsion and not to fucking grubby ass Microsoft.
yep, dude. So here's the question. I'll do you this obviously this is terrible news, right? I mean, I don't want to make light of their 3,200 people losing their jobs. Do you view Xbox's situation as better for Xbox post this news or worse?
I mean,
Is the state of Xbox in a better situation than it was 3 days ago?
I I think they've kind of sideways they've done a sideways step in a lot of ways. Where it's like I think the divestment of the studios makes a lot of sense. Like they don't need those kinds of studios anymore. They don't need quirky indie stuff, or like in the case of Ninja Theory, they don't need like some kind of artistic game. And in the case of Undead Labs, they don't need like uh jank survival game. Um I mean, that's kind of what those games are. I don't know if State of Decay 3 is going to be as jank, but 1 and 2 certainly were jank survival games. Um, what they want like the big stuff. They want to be like generic corporate slop, basically. That's what they want to be, and like you don't want.
I don't know if I call it generic corporate slop. I mean,
I mean,
the IP that Xbox has
the
under its
way
umbrella
they're.
is still insane.
I'm not saying those games are generic corporate slop. I'm saying the way they are talking about their IP sounds like they want to turn it into generic corporate slop. Like they part of what they're doing with Bethesda is like, oh, we're reorganizing Bethesda to better capitalize on the IP. It's like like they've been talking about like wanting, okay, we're gonna make sure that Bethesda focuses on Fallout and Elder Scrolls like they weren't already. So like
They
what
weren't.
that means.
They clearly weren't. We haven't seen a game from either franchise in over a decade.
Yeah, but what that means, I mean, they're clearly working on it. Like they're clearly
Are
working
they?
on.
We haven't seen anything from those two IPs. Like it's been Starfield,
I
Starfield,
mean,
Starfield. Like
we like I mean we saw Elder Scrolls 6 announced like fucking 15 years ago at this point. Um but like what they are saying, what that means is that they are gonna make sure that the games are rushed out faster because
or
they
that they
want.
prioritize putting them into development. I mean, I feel like that's conjecture a little bit, saying we're going to rush these games through development, but putting a team on them, because right now, look, before the success of the Fallout show, I don't think they had a Fallout game in active development, not even close. I mean, they were supporting 76 and they were working on Starfield, and Elder Scrolls is next. I don't think we were going to see a Fallout game for another decade at this point. And to me, saying, "Hey, we're going to have Bethesda restructure to focus on their core IP," like, yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. Like,
Well,
Fallout needs, you need to be putting out Fallout games.
yeah, I think you are putting too much focus on Starfield. Like I don't think they're focusing on Starfield anymore. They're doing like deals, very occasional DLCs for Starfield.
I
I
mean, they
think the
did a
main
PS5
studio.
port. They did a huge DLC
Yeah, but this isn't full studio shit. Like the full studio is clearly working on Elder Scrolls
on
6.
Elder Scrolls, not Fallout.
Yeah, well, basically what this means is they're probably gonna staff up, or they're gonna like um I don't know, id Software is probably gonna be a support studio or whatever the fuck. And they're gonna start like rushing these games out more, because something else is that these games are known for being janky, and I think they know that, and I think they know that they're gonna get away with it. Like they're
I think
gonna
that
get
sounds
away
pretty
with these
doomer.
games
I think
being like unfinished, or like not
I still
as
don't.
big scale as before.
I just don't understand, because like they should have just had Obsidian making Fallout. Like
that's
that's
it.
straight up the answer. Like they
Yeah,
should have just
That
put them on that. And like my answer to the question is, I don't think it makes them any better as a platform. Maybe as like maybe they're gonna be more profitable. Fucking hooray for Microsoft, I guess. But like I don't know. I feel like Xbox hemorrhages because of the Activision acquisition and the Game Pass model. I don't think closing these studios solves anything. I think like them restructuring shit, what the hell, the Elder Scrolls team, Bethesda, that's a great idea. Do that. But like we couldn't restructure the entire thing and keep these other studios and
I
keep
think
making
that's
good
across the
games. Like,
board. The centralized management is across the board, not just from Bethesda.
yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I just, at the end of the day, like I'm less interested in the platform. I'm less interested in Microsoft as a publisher. If they're gonna be like what I think they're probably gonna be in the next 5 years, as just like a core Call of Duty and Bethesda game publisher, it's like sure, that sounds like a great thing that I'm probably not that interested in. I don't really play those games at that degree, but like
I think we're putting too much emphasis on Call of Duty. Call of Duty doesn't really need to be touched. They have the studios to support Call of Duty. I don't think it is going to be a Call of Duty support studio. I think that's getting blown out because of what they did to Vicarious Visions, and that was under different leadership with Activision. And to me, the idea of focusing on your core studios and, not shuttering studios, giving them the chance to go off and do their own thing, saying, "Hey, we're not going to be this place for indie studios to grow up and become part of our team anymore. We're not going to be doing all these third-party publishing deals. We're going to focus internally, centralize our management, and kind of, again, cut the fat is a stupid way to put it, but that's essentially what they're doing. They acquired Activision for their core titles, they acquired Bethesda for their core titles, and they're trimming away to try to make this work. It's not an approach I would like to see. I'd love to see all these studios continuing to make games outside of the Xbox umbrella. But I think for what Xbox is doing and what they have to do, this is the only path forward. They have to cut back on the Game Pass model. They have
I don't
to
understand what they've done in the past 3 days solves. Like, how does it solve any of that?
Well,
it gives those studios a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
But again, like what
it slims the business down so they can focus in on their core IPs, which are still not going to be out for the next 5 to 10 years if the studio's closed. Like,
I mean, is that true though? I mean, they've got heavy hitters coming out. I mean, they've got a decent lineup already for the rest of this year and the beginning of next.
Yeah, but no one's gonna be able to make another game. Like if all the cuts are the same as id Software, like where they don't make any sense, which the indications are, like they need to, like they've cut so many people already. They're gonna need to staff up again because they've lost so many key people. Like they cut people from id who's been there for 30 years.
I mean, the idea with it is probably hey, you just finished production on a game, your DLC is released. You don't need a giant studio right now. And that happens all the time throughout the industry, not just with Xbox and not just recently. You staff up for production and you staff down when the games are done.
Not like
this. No, this not on this level. Not on this level. I'm not excusing cutting your entire
point earlier with doing that to one of your most efficient studios is it seems like they have no idea what they're doing because you have a studio that's putting out Doom games at a good clip. Like 4 years in between games, that's not like a short amount of time, but it's a lot better than, fucking 10, 15 years for Elder Scrolls. And now you cut that team in half. What are we doing? Like, when's the next Doom game come out? What is that studio going to be doing? Are they support? I don't know. That still sucks though. Like, are they going to be doing the same with the other studios? Are they going to be, like Dennis said, are they going to be cut to the core? Are they going to be a shadow of who they were? Like, I don't know those answers, but like nothing that we've seen in the past few days gives me any confidence in any of this. Like, I don't know. It just seems to me like they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're not on the same page. Like, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the boardrooms.
To me, the moves suck, obviously. And I'm not trying to make light of 3,200 people losing their jobs. But to me, the moves that Asha Sharma is making as the head of Xbox, they all seem part of the same kind of mission for them, her trying to right the ship in the best way she can. Either that or said what's the phrasing the CEO said, usher them off into a quiet good night or whatever, like sizing them down to be acquired if they don't right the ship.
Yeah, well, here's like where I think we are misunderstanding each other, which is like, I think the idea that Asha Sharma is doing is solid. I think the execution is not. Like, again, like you can't, like this, the way that they're cutting people doesn't make any sense. And that's the problem. The problem is not that they're cutting people. And also, when it comes to like staffing up and staffing down in most situations, that's mostly contractors who were signed on for a limited amount of time anyway. Like that's usually how they staff up and staff down.
Why would that be being reported as laid off if they were contractors?
It's all the time. That happens all the time, literally. I don't know if it is it's not every time, of course, but like I know there was one time when Naughty Dog staffed down and it was like, oh, Naughty Dog let go of like 80 people or whatever, and it was like all contractors. I don't know if that's like just the article trying to gain clicks, or if it was like, oh, this actually is the right terminology for this or whatever. But I know it's happened before. But like,
I mean, Sony did this last year, right? Or the year before, where they cut devs from all of their core studios.
Yeah, but again, like I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit annoyed actually here. Like, it is not about cutting people. It's about the fact that they've cut the entire fucking engineering department. You can't make a game without programmers, Ryan. Like, what the fuck are they supposed to do? Like, that is what I'm talking about. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I can't explain the id stuff. I don't have an answer.
And from what I've heard is that the cuts that they're doing to id is indicative of what they're doing across the board. Again, we don't know that for sure, but like, I am not surprised either, because this wouldn't be the first time that Microsoft doesn't understand how games work. It's kind of a common theme throughout the entire history of Xbox. Where it's like, even like back in the original Xbox days, they looked at GTA 3 and was like, nobody wants this. Let's sign on that Austin Powers game. It's like, again, like, it is like a common theme throughout Microsoft's history that they don't understand how games work or like what people want. So like, yeah, again, like, it is not, the problem isn't that they're cutting people, the problem is how they're cutting people. And like, when you have a studio like id that has such an insanely long history with making incredibly well engineered games, and then you're cutting the people who've been there for 30 years with all that experience, all that culture at the studio, now that's all just gone.
Boink brings up a good point. So Bungie should hire the id engineers. Actually,
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, what they should do is hire those like fucking Halo Studios or whatever. I guess they make Unreal games now.
So, do we expect this is it as far as studio cuts go, or do we think the?
No, I mean, they've already announced that they're doing another round later this year.
Well, that's the other half of the 1600, right? Or they're talking about more studio closures later this year.
I don't know exactly. I
think
don't know if
it was announced that 3200 of the 3200 being laid off, 1600 are being laid off today, being Monday, and then the other 1600 are by end of quarter one or fiscal quarter one 2027 or something like that.
No idea. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have to line up another Rake to step on next week. So who knows? They're gonna have to say some dumb shit or do some dumb shit. I don't know.
I'm just imagining like Matt Booty is standing there scrambling to find another Rake to place in front of Asha Sharma, and Asha is like, "Come on, hurry up! We need another Rake.
We're out of Rakes."
Yeah, you already stepped on them all.
I think
Phil
the next
stepped on
bad
so
news,
many.
The next bad news / good news will be whatever they're doing to Game Pass. They're blowing it up. They're getting rid of it or whatever. Which, I mean, if that has
I think
to
that's
happen,
good news.
sure. Like,
I think whatever they decide to do, well, if they make the right move with Game Pass, which is to take day one titles off and reduce the price.
I mean, they already took day one titles off, right?
No, they took.
Well, they have different tiers of subscription.
Yeah, it's only on the ultimate tier now, which is also now cheaper.
Yeah,
I think that's got to go.
Yeah, I think I don't think day one titles make any sense. I mean, you can have the occasional day one title like PlayStation does, where it's like, oh, this is more like a going into the marketing budget or whatever. But it's like, no, you actually need to sell games. Like, that's how
I think it goes to more of a PlayStation Plus type service. The problem is that gets me off of it, which again is fine. But are we really going to focus on making Xbox exclusives at this point? Like, I don't know. That's what I'm worried about, because A, you have less studios, you have less variety of games. B, you no longer have Game
way
Pass.
more studios than PlayStation.
I mean, C, you're getting rid of Game Pass, which is like the only reason why I own an Xbox. The hardware's about to be insane. No one's buying the next Xbox. Like, no one's doing it. Like, the whole thing is cooked, bro. Like, it's just cooked. Like, I think they should have went the other way and said fuck exclusives. That's kind of been their MO anyway. Like, they should just be putting their games wherever the fuck they can at this point and being more like a publisher. Like that's what they should be doing.
Yes.
I,
This is
They're
what we
still
said when
hemorrhaging
they.
like that model though. They're still hemorrhaging money with Game Pass.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not going to make any money being console exclusive. Nobody buys an
Yeah,
Xbox.
like
No one's
what
got
I,
the incentive to buy one, especially with this. Like,
what
and
they
when they
should
get rid of
have.
Game Pass, which is not sustainable anyway.
Yeah, what they should have done alongside this, it'd be like Game Pass is now a library service and not like a day one service. Day one games are gone entirely. And we don't make exclusives anymore. And also we're gonna release games on Switch. They haven't really done either.
Yeah, I mean, put their
But the game's
Game
everywhere.
Pass
I mean, if you want to make money,
everywhere.
that's how you're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Tell that to PlayStation. PlayStation just made the same move where they were like, "Hey, we're done with
Well, I don't think,
putting games on PC."
Well, PlayStation realizes that their game sales is not their cash cow, which I think they forgot for a while. Like their cash cow is the PlayStation Store.
Explain or elaborate.
What do you mean? They get 30% on every game sale on the PlayStation Store, even they're not their
So
own.
why would Xbox like be disserviceable, like, or would be a disservice to them to follow that model?
Because
If you're
nobody
saying
buys
like
games on Xbox because they taught
Yeah,
everyone not
because
to
you
buy
can just get it on
games.
Game Pass.
Yeah,
right. But if they
you
get
can't
rid
get
of
these
that,
games day
there's
one on Game Pass, then you only have the only choice you have is to get an Xbox or buy the game.
I
the
think what
difference is
happens
look how many
instead.
Xboxes are in people's homes versus PlayStations.
Yeah,
And what is the incentive to buy an Xbox? What you're putting out an exclusive? They're $600,
because the only
$700
place-
consoles. Like,
What if the only place you can play Elder Scrolls 6 is an Xbox? The only place you can play Call of Duty is an Xbox. Guess what? People are going to buy an Xbox.
no, they're not.
Because they're ingrained into the
Xbox-
system.
I don't
A
think so.
Series X
Yes,
is
they are.
$800 now.
yet I don't think so anymore. I don't think we're at that point where hello.
6-7.
Yeah.
Fucking got him.
Got him.
Yeah, like you can't make an exclusive and be like, oh, they're gonna buy it. Like
I absolutely disagree. I think there are system sellers for every console. Every console has a system seller.
Yeah,
And
the
not
difference
Fallout
is consoles are about to be
$1,000,
$1,000.
every console developer is going to have the same issue, though. The PS6 is going to be $1,000.
But
Guess what? People.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
but-
think
Still gonna buy it.
PlayStation is gonna make PS6 exclusives.
Right. They're gonna
I
keep
think
games
all of
on
their
the
games are
PS5.
gonna have PS5 versions. At least
So they'll do
for
the same thing with the Series X
for
and
the
S.
first
What are you
few
talking
years.
about?
I just told you the difference is people have PlayStations in their house
Yeah,
already.
do you know the
So you're
order
telling
of
me they're not going to go
magnitude of
grab a
sales?
Series S or a Series X to play Elder Scrolls 6?
No, they're not.
Or the new Fallout? You're crazy. You're an
No.
insane person.
I am extremely sane. Do you know the order of magnitude of different, like how many different units there are of Xbox Series consoles and PlayStation 5? We're talking about 5 to 6 times different.
I'm not talking about catching PlayStation overnight. I'm talking about establishing an environment where you have to have an Xbox to play games that you have grown up playing your entire lives. I'm telling if they
I am
dropped COD
saying-
and said, "Hey, COD is COD is an exclusive to the Xbox platform," people are going to go buy an Xbox.
I'm saying it's too late for that now. They might be able to pull this. Like, first of all, this is not the time to start making exclusives. Sony and Nintendo can continue doing exclusives because they already have the market share. With Microsoft, like, they don't have them. Like, I'm pretty sure the Switch 2 has outsold the Series consoles at this point. Which is crazy. Like, that's how little those consoles have sold. Or at least if they haven't, they're close. But like, in today's climate where a console is like $600 to $800, you can't expect someone to go out and buy it.
I mean,
I think
In its
GTA
current
6 is
climate,
going
sure.
to GTA 6 is going to sell a bunch of PlayStation 5s.
Yep.
But
also
it would have sold probably like 3 to 4 times more PS5s than it's going to.
you're also
And that's
missing the
GTA
whole
6.
like the whole Xbox PC. Like those games are coming to PC, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. But like, they're establishing a line where that the path forward has to be exclusives. And if they're doing that, they have to double down and say, "Hey, these games are coming off PC." Like
They're not
that
coming
to
out
me,
on PC either.
that's what I'm saying is that needs if they're and they already seem to be going down this road where they're moving towards exclusivity again. That has to be the next step. Game Pass has to not be day one anymore, and they can't play on the PC market. Helix needs to be whatever they were planning to do. This PC hybrid structure with Helix, that's got to be gone. To me, like if your path forward has to be, hey, the only place to play these games, these marquee titles, these gargantuan titles, is in the Xbox platform. Otherwise, Xbox is done. To me,
I think if they did that, they're done. Like, I don't think you're gonna sell off of those games. I don't think at the economy and the point where we are these days, they put Elder Scrolls out on an Xbox. You're not gonna get people to buy an $800 console to just play that one game.
Yeah. And also, you can't pivot Helix at this point. Like, it takes years to design a console, and this has been designed from the ground up to be a PC to run Windows. And like the amount of investment that they've put into Windows 11 to make it controller friendly over the last 5 years, and still is bad, which is just Microsoft stuff. But like, they've invested so much into this initiative that they can't just pivot at this point.
In my opinion, you delay. You push the Series X and Series S with console exclusives. See if you can make up some ground, and then when you're in a better position, you push. Maybe the market comes back down to earth a little bit. You can get Helix off the ground for a little cheaper, but I don't think the avenue that are painting for themselves is going back towards exclusivity to me. And you can't do that with PC. You can't expect people to play the games on your consoles if you're also pushing the games towards computer.
I don't think they are like. I don't think they want to do exclusives.
It seems like they want to. Like, why else? Why make Gears E-Day exclusives if PlayStation a PlayStation version already existed?
Like I argued with when we were talking about those shows last time, is that I think it's 100% like a hardcore fan base move. It is supposed to. It was a move supposed to get the Xbox fans happy about Xbox again, and they see it as a calculated risk. I don't think they care about exclusives, especially when you see this new memo where Asha Sharma is like, I want like Xbox to be a place where 1 billion players play every day. And like, you're not going to get 1 billion players on a daily basis if you're exclusive to a console that's sold like 10 to 20 million units.
I also don't feel that confident that they'll actually keep COD exclusive at all. I don't think they do that.
Right now, it's not. I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is to make COD exclusive.
That's my point. Is I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do it with Elder Scrolls. So like, why gate it at all? just put it everywhere. But like,
is Fable exclusive, or is Fable coming to PS5?
I think they already announced PS5, right? Or
there were 2 games they announced. Oh, Clockwork Revolution is exclusive.
That one's just being sent out to die.
Yeah, that one. That's a weird thing.
But yeah,
that's a weird thing to play to a fan base that doesn't support you in the way you need them to. To pull a game that already exists from PS5 like from the shelves.
It's a dumb decision.
Yeah, it is. It is a dumb decision.
But it's not a dumb decision if you intend on doubling down on exclusives. But like,
it would be a dumb idea for them to do that, though. Is my point.
Again, like if you look at like the things that Asha Sharma did when she became CEO, they were all low hanging fruit. It was all like, oh, let's turn it from Xbox to all capitalized Xbox. Let's make a logo that looks cool. It was all this like weird stuff that
Yeah.
doesn't make it, that like it's just kind of like whatever. And then it was like, okay, this is gonna be like underlining it all with like announcing 2 exclusive games. And like, why weren't all the other games exclusive? Because they don't actually care about exclusives. They just care about catering to their hardcore audience, because their hardcore audience is the most loud and annoying fucking audience on Twitter, and they know that they can capitalize on those people on just parodying their message and being like, oh no, this is good actually, or whatever. Like, that's what they want. And again, like, why do they care about that? Because Microsoft is like has like, or Xbox specifically, has been historically like very Twitter, like they are Twitter people, where it's like, I don't know, like in the past you've had like Aaron Greenberg and stuff just talking to all of these like weird Xbox fans on Twitter, and it's like because they really for some reason have decided to listen to the Twitter people.
Yeah, I don't know if I put the exclusives like the 2 exclusives in the same category as the changing the lettering or the logo change or any of that. That feels more like re-energizing a brand that people have like stopped caring about. Whereas I don't know, the exclusives feels like a different tactic. I can't make sense of it yet unless we know like what their actual trajectory is. But
Again, it
to
makes
me,
sense if you see it for what it is, which is just exciting the fan base. Like, it is, as
you're going to
as I'm saying,
but you're
it's a
exciting a fan
calculated
base.
risk. I think like they said like, okay, we're going to lose this much money, but in the process we will gain fans, and that is important. Now, out of this move that they've done recently, have just probably lost a lot of those fans, or maybe
But
in fact continue to energize those fans, where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get more Halo or whatever the fuck, like they're probably out there being like, yeah, this is great actually. I don't know, this is gonna lead
like
to more exclusives.
you're doing a calculated risk with a game that costs $400 million
Yep,
in development
again, I'm not
costs.
saying it makes any sense,
But
but it
why?
makes
But you're
sense if you
in that. If you're talking about catering to a fan base, why are you putting the Chief on PlayStation?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Like, they just picked 2 games. They picked 2 out of 2 games that they didn't feel was gonna cause enough damage.
What the 2 things you're saying don't make sense though. They picked 2 games that wouldn't cost them that much. This game from Compulsion, or not Compulsion, the Coalition is going to cost them insane if it doesn't pan out, and it won't.
Yeah, but I think if they had picked
This
like
is
Halo,
this is the exact argument I made earlier, where it's just like the vision not there, the
yeah,
execution's not there. One
again, like I am
hand is not
arguing,
talking with the other one properly.
yes,
It doesn't make sense. That's my point.
yeah. Look, what I am arguing is that I am arguing this is their methodology. I am not saying their methodology makes sense, but this
Okay.
is what their methodology is. And they're like, what they looked at, like, okay, we need, let's make 2 games exclusives. We need to minimize the damage as much as possible. And then they looked at their games and they were like, okay, we need like a big one. Halo they considered to be too big. Well, like, we actually just need to make money on Halo, so they picked Gears. And then with the other games, with the other game, they were probably just like, I don't know, pick one. And then it was Clockwork Revolution, I guess.
So what your point just put in makes way more sense to me, is that you already had contracts for Halo and Forza, whereas like the idea that they picked 2 games at random and they picked a $400 million title, no shot. There's no. I get you're saying that you're not trying to say that it makes sense, but like I guess I have a little more like faith in like people not being completely stupid in saying that like we're gonna take a calculated risk with a $400 million title that we know that doesn't make any sense to me. And like,
Well, I think it makes sense if you look at like if they're looking at the long run, which is like, okay, we're gonna be making, because again, they still need to make up like $69 billion from the Activision acquisition. Like their plan is to make billions of dollars. $400 million is nothing if you're making billions of dollars.
then is Fable still under contract too? Because like that one to me seems like the one that you make the move with. Like, hey, guess what? Fable, this game that looks unbelievable, you can only play it on Xbox.
Well, I think Fable is probably too volatile of an IP, and I think Microsoft considers it to have too much potential to kill. I don't think they see the same amount of potential in Clockwork Revolution, which is wild. Like, I think that game has a lot of potential to be a franchise. And I think it's I think it's wild that they're sending that game out to die like this. I also think like, and again, like I think how haphazard this decision was is so emblematic. Like it's so like the fact that they released things, there was like some image for E-Day that came out that had a PS5 logo on it. That shows you like how much of a last minute decision this was. And like you don't make smart decisions if you're just like, let's do that. You know,
it also begs the question if the contract thing is real, but they had PlayStation versions of E-Day set to go. Was there not a contract for that? Were they just doing that off of like
I don't know what
goodwill?
I don't know what that
How does
means. Well, like you don't have a contract with Sony to release a game on the console.
I don't know.
Like you're not, when you release a game on PlayStation 5, you're not like, okay, we're gonna release Halo on PlayStation 5. We'll let's sign a contract. It's like, no, you're just releasing a game. Of course, you need to like
there's
sign
probably
an NDA
contracts
for like the dev kits and all that. But like there is no, like the entire deal with the dev kits is in the deal with the dev kits. Like there's not ever really any expectation to release a game.
There has to be a formal contract just off of the revenue split alone. Like you have to agree to that on paper. You can't just say like, oh, we're gonna put Halo Campaign Evolved on PlayStation all like and just
can I
be
get
like,
that
yeah,
writing, please?
hey Sony, just make sure you give me 70% of the earnings on this or whatever, and we'll just take your word at it. Like,
well, they have a system in place. Do you think they have like a room of lawyers to sign a contract with every single studio that releases a game on PlayStation? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like you have a system. Like I
think that system involves paperwork.
I have signed up to release. I mean, like I have my game on Steam, but like the amount of that I've signed up is like the same that you've signed up to like any online service. I haven't met with a team of lawyers and be like, okay, so we're gonna release The Body Signal on Steam, and you need to make this much money in order to release the game on Steam. Like, no, I paid $100 to put the game on Steam.
But I don't mean this offensively, but you're an indie dev. This is Xbox and PlayStation.
What I'm saying is that there isn't a difference.
I don't. I find that hard to believe.
Like structurally, like how this works, there isn't a difference. There is like a cost of being able to put the game. Like for example, I paid $100 to be able to put the game on Steam, and that's the cost. Like that's all the money that Valve is expecting of me. If the game comes out and doesn't sell any, or the game doesn't come out at all, I am not owed Valve anything. And it's the same situation here with, like, even though it's a different scale, like it's the same situation. exactly what Diego's saying. Isn't the process the same? Like, yes, the process is the same. Like, there's like with the to get like the dev kit. I don't know how much the dev kit is, or like what the base kind of licensing fee or whatever it is in order to put a game on the system at all. That's a flat cost that they've already paid, and that's everything that PlayStation expects from you.
I don't know if I agree. I think there's probably a lot more that goes into it. Like, even look at like normal releases like that have timed exclusives. They have contracts, they have deals, they have
Yes, but
marketing
that's a
plans.
timed exclusive. That's a different situation. That's a whole marketing deal. Like, that's when you
I
put
just mean like
that's when you put my lawyer
when
and your
you've got a
lawyer in a
first
room
party
together.
title that you're when you have a first party title that's releasing on another platform that it hasn't previously, I think they had conversations and they probably had marketing deals and they had to like, does Sony put this in a state of play? Like, they had to have those discussions. Like,
But they haven't put
it
them in a
isn't
state
just
of
like,
play.
hey, fill out the form, you're going to release your game. Like, they had deals. Like,
If there are no contractual obligations to keeping those games on PlayStation, then there's no chance that they let Campaign Evolve release on PlayStation.
Well, they are.
Right, because there's contracts in place.
I don't think there is.
Well, I guess we'll agree to disagree on that one because we kind of need to move on to the next topic. We beat the dead horse on Xbox for an hour and a half.
And what I want to know is like the thing that you're talking about, Curly. Like, let's say that they had like a marketing deal for Halo. That's a whole completely different thing. Like, that's outside of the entire situation of releasing the game on PlayStation. There's like, hey, we are releasing Halo Campaign Evolved on your platform, and we were thinking it would be a good idea to do a marketing deal together. We are going to give you X amount of money for marketing this game, and that now there is an expectation from Sony,
right, but that's
to
the point
actually.
that we're making though, is like, did they already make those marketing deals
But
with
there
those other
hasn't been any
games?
marketing from PlayStation on. There's been like a tweet.
I mean, there hasn't, but like, who knows what they have? Like, I mean, they do state of play, what, the third party directs or whatever they're called.
Look, we're kind of going into going off what my initial argument was, which is that, like, just from the main idea of actually releasing a game on the console, there is no contractual like necessity to release the game. To do any of what we're talking about now, that's a completely different topic. And if there was a deal there, yes, then there is an expectation. But that's not what I'm talking about. Like, what I'm talking about is just the base kind of situation of releasing a game on PlayStation. There is no contractual like necessity to do it. It's just like, okay, we have paid for the necessary things in order to release the game. Whether or not we release the game is completely irrelevant. Sony already got their money. But if we're doing a marketing deal, if we're doing a publishing deal, if we're doing a whatever, that is entirely different and completely separate.
Yeah, but my point is they had those discussions already as well. I believe, like, they've had marketing and publishing deals and discussions with all these Xbox games coming out on PlayStation, and they have to do that ahead of time. Like, that's why the D-Day thing is so weird, that it's last minute, as opposed to the other ones still coming out supposedly. Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, you can't just like on a whim like say, hey, we're going to release on PlayStation, and then later down the line do those marketing deals. All that is in discussion, in the ploy to like, hey, we're gonna publish it on that platform. Like,
Yeah, so just like some reports that have pulled from, like, for this one from GameSpot, Campaign Evolved is still coming to PS5 because Microsoft already committed to releasing it there, and the company has said it will honor existing agreements. What are you honoring if there's no contractual agreement in place?
Yes, but I'm saying, like, if there is a contractual agreement, it's not like it is not from the simple act of having announced a game for PlayStation. It's from a deal that is separate from that. That is my argument.
Okay, I think we're on the same page then.
Yes,
I
probably.
don't at this point. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page at this point.
Yeah.
Then.
I think the whole argument was like the agreements for Halo and Forza were at a different timeline than Gears of War, so they could backtrack Gears of War, but they can't with the other ones because of the agreements in place. I don't know that to be true because I mean we don't have the agreements, but like I wouldn't be that surprised if that's the case. They might have wanted to pull Combat Evolved as a console exclusive, but because of prior agreements, they couldn't.
I think to me it kind of screams that they probably had a contractual agreement in place for E-Day, but viewed it worth the fiscal or the financial
Repercussion.
repercussions that they'd have to pay to pull that one for exclusivity versus a remake of a 20-year-old game. Where they view E-Day as a premier title and not a multiplayerless cash grab that the
It is dumb. It doesn't have multiplayer.
It's really dumb. It's really. I think if it had multiplayer, you'd probably see them do the same thing. They'd be putting the multiplayer exclusively on Xbox. When we see the next mainline Halo entry, which if we ever do, I guess, when we ever see another Halo mainline entry, I think it'll be exclusive to the.
I mean, like at this point, they're gonna release Campaign Evolved, and Asha Sharma is gonna come into the house and be like, "So when are you releasing Halo 7 next quarter?"
Yeah. Canned.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, on the heels of this, there's apparently rumors going around that Halo could be getting like offloaded to the Call of Duty team in some fashion, or at least like a side project could be handled by the Call of Duty devs. At this point, like if you take Halo from the Halo studio, like why even keep them? Like,
I mean, like devil's advocate there. It's like I don't think it's a good idea, but maybe don't annualize Call of Duty so much and have two different studios working on Halo games. And like, I don't know. I don't think that would be a terrible idea. Like,
yeah,
Halo still needs an online platform similar to the Warzone. Like, it just needs one. Infinite tried, and it was good, but they didn't have the proper rollout. They didn't have the proper support that it needed. But like, for Halo to be relevant for what type of game it is, it needs to be some version of that, which I hate to say it, but it needs to be in the zeitgeist of the big ones, the Call of Duties, the Fortnites, the whatevers, the blah blah blahs. But like, I don't know.
yeah. Look. I mean, Call of Duty is still immensely successful, whether they've had a down spin since they were acquired by Xbox. I get the idea of saying like, hey, let's let the Activision team behind Call of Duty try to fix Halo, but I don't know. It feels weird. It feels if that's the case, Halo Studios doesn't feel safe, and that's crazy for it being their flagship title and their flagship studio.
Shamoy makes a great point. How can there be another Halo after Infinite?
It's true. It's very true.
Like they already went to the end of the scale, man. Like,
all right, let's move on to let's move on to some bad shit Sony's doing.
Yeah.
So let's keep it equal, you know.
Yeah,
that's true. Time to hate on Sony and PlayStation for a little bit. Where's that article at? Hold on 1 second. Physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles from PlayStation Blog. In response to shifting trends and consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This from Sid Sherman. As consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital, physical game disc production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games that are already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format.
Group in the other story with it as well.
let's see.
because they released both of these posts at the same time, and just contextually, it felt kind of like I'm gonna rub some dirt in your eye real quick. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So the other story is that they are they have also announced the shutdown of the PS3 and Vita stores, and I don't think you could announce any news at the same time in a worse way.
right, that's
Like-
what I'm saying. It's just like
Okay, hey,
what?
hey, everybody. We're gonna stop making physical games and we're gonna rely entirely on our digital marketplace, which is great, by the way. Also, we're gonna shut down a digital marketplace. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, like what an asshole thing to do, to be like. And I guess there's no good time to announce that after you drop the ball of the physical stuff going away. So it's like, I guess PlayStation's just like, let's just take the lumps because they knew it was coming. They knew that this would be a complete shitstorm of
Want to
news
hear
cycle.
my conspiracy theory here?
Yeah.
I don't think I think this is creating way too much damage for themselves for it to be true, but it would be hilarious if this is true. What if they are actually planning on not doing this, but they want to distract away from the PS3 Vita store closure, which they have tried to do in the past? So they
That would
had
be
to figure out
insane.
something that was worse in order
It's
to hide
absolutely
this news.
diabolical.
Then go back on the physical games thing, but still shut down the PS3 and Vita stores.
So here's the thing. PlayStation hasn't been great at backwards compatibility on some generations. You know what I mean? Looking at you, PS3, and I still have my PS3 plugged in, and you have no idea how happy I was to, like, a couple years ago, hop on the store and realize, yo, this, you can still buy games on this. That's awesome. You can still buy PS1 games, you can buy PS3 games, all that. Fantastic, cool. I'm glad that it still exists. It not existing sucks ass, because not only can you not buy the PS3 games digitally, but like, imagine 2 generations from now, like, you want to do that. Like, you want to hop into the PS6 and play a game, and that digital storefront's no longer there, and you don't have the game physically. What do you do? Granted, I'm being very hyperbolic. That's not going to be the situation. Moving forward, the backwards compatibility is going to be okay. It's going to be fine, I imagine. But like, this is the reality that we've like walked into, where it's like, Sony has the keys to the kingdom, where they could one day just decide, hey, you can't have access to this anymore. You just, like, they literally have the power. It's not gonna happen, but if Sony shut down, your library's gone. You don't have the games. Like, if you don't have them physically, you're not gonna be able to download them. You're not gonna be able to get them from the servers legally, of course. I mean, like, there's a lot of like they cans and what ifs and all that. And I know, Dennis, you've talked a good bit about it in our Discord, and I'm sure you've got a lot to say about it. But like, the time for like digital ownership and preservation and legislation needs to happen like a year ago. Like, it needs like, we are moving at such a fast clip on all this ownership business and legalities of it all. And the fact that legislation's not there now is terrifying, and I hate it. I fucking hate
Well,
it.
Curly, I think what you're forgetting is the fact that with AI, you don't have to own a game. You can just generate the game, a copy of the
true.
game on your own on OpenAI Codex or whatever.
You're right. Yeah, we could just like, hey, generate the Jack and Daxter HD trilogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that exists on any other platform besides PS3. Yeah, damn it.
But no, I can I can just go ahead and actually read the messages that I wrote in our Discord. So I'm planning on making a video, like an actual standalone video about this, because I think this is actually a quite interesting topic. I've watched a lot of people's opinions on this, and everyone is very doomer about it. This is kind of a very hopeful take in a lot of ways. So like, for context, this was like Enrico had posted the physical games news, and we started discussing it. and I say this. This was inevitable. I think they're only digging their own grave with this in a way that I don't think most people are considering. One of the major arguments for physical games have always been a point that really doesn't make any sense, which is preservation. A physical copy of a modern game is not in any shape or form a preserved copy. It's a disc that you can still put in your console. Physical copies are under the same validation system as digital copies. They can just as easily be remotely disabled as a digital copy. A modern physical game is no longer an open format CD that you can do whatever you want with. It's protected by the devil and all his friends to ensure that you can't copy it in any way. Another point on that I didn't mention at the time, which is that, like, Blu-ray, for example, is an open standard, even though it is encrypted. Anyone can make a Blu-ray drive and play a Blu-ray movie. Nobody can make a PlayStation to play a PlayStation game. So there's like another point of limitation to that. How is a modern game properly preserved? By pirates. Pirates break the encryption on the game and extract the files. The same process is done in a digital game. In both situations, the encryption needs to be broken and the console needs to be hacked. But regardless, physical games are seen as this holy grail, the only way to preserve games. With this gone, the only way to preserve games is piracy, which is true already, but now there's no proxy. This will ultimately lead to legislation that demands true preservation of video games. Trust me, this is a blessing in disguise. This is my take. It is a very hopeful take. I totally like see that. But I think this is the only outcome. I don't know how long it's going to take to get there, but this is the outcome. If this stays like, if this doesn't get reverted, I mean.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to your point, like, it is very hopeful, and I hope you're right. I really do. The problem is like I mentioned, like, we're moving too fast, and like Diego corrected me, instead of a year ago, it should have happened 10 years ago. This stuff
Yeah.
needed to be in place so much longer ago than we have it, and like that's neither here nor there, because it never would happen unless exactly what you're saying. It's literally going to have to be forced now. Like, like once we have only digital storefronts, and like, and again, to sweeten the deal, we just had the news cycle like a couple weeks ago where it's like people that bought movies on the PlayStation storefront just lost them. Like, they just decided you can't access them anymore. You
Yeah.
can't download them. You can't get to them anymore. This comes out, it's like, we need exactly what you said. We need the legislation in place, and like I do think you're right. I mean, like, I very much am on the doomer side of it. That's just because I'm like, it sucks like that it's changing now, and it feels very weirdly timed with the GTA-ness of it. I don't know. It feels like Sony wanted to do this on the next console cycle, and just again wanted to go ahead and take the lumps now because GTA announced it was going to be digital. That's literally the biggest entertainment fucking property on the planet. So it's like, hey y'all, this is the future. We're doing it. Suck it up, buttercup. But like, what do we have to do to get the legislation in place? I have no fucking idea. I'm a dumbass that fucking loves video games, but I don't know the legality of this shit.
The first thing we need to do is support Stop Killing Games. And we've seen so much an insane amount of lobbying from the video game industry to kill any effort that they're doing. And the video game industry has unfortunately succeeded so far. But I've been watching the videos from the guy, what's his name again? Russ, I think, who is like the head of the Stop Killing Games movement. And he remains positive that that they will still get anywhere. But yeah, like he's talked about like how all of the people that they have been talking to about this stuff have all of a sudden just started bringing up like lies from the game industry, which is like, you can't preserve an online game because it's a living organism. It's like, what are you talking about?
No, you physically can. It can be
Yeah,
done.
exactly. It's just like the lobbyists have gotten in there, so there's a harder battle now, but hopefully we'll get there. That's the first step, making sure that these companies can't kill these games to begin with.
Yeah. And we're probably not going to have a whole topic on it just because of the way time's going, but Nintendo also just announced the end of Mario Kart Tour. So that game's going to be offline. There's no plans to do an offline mode. So like when I say offline, it's just dead, gone.
Yeah.
People that spent a lot of money on it, too fucking bad, I guess. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But like this is the future that we have to look forward to, right? Like it's going to be like this until we get the laws, legislations in place to stop killing games, like Dennis said, and like we got to figure out the digital ownership of things. I don't have the answers, but like and this comes from a person that buys mostly digital. Like that's who I am. I seldomly buy physical copies of stuff. Like if it's a game that I really love and they have a physical version after I already bought it digitally, I'll probably buy physical. But like I still very much benefit from physical games. Like a lot of times later in the console cycles, I'll buy used games, or anytime there's like a Black Friday, I'll buy physical games just because like the retails will have them on sale. I like to trade games with friends a lot, and like Nintendo has their game trading thing, but that also involves like a family plan and things like that.
Yeah.
And I hope PlayStation adopts a lot of these policies, but like,
yeah, I
will
really
they?
hope that
I
they
don't.
introduce like a virtual game disc system on the PS6.
Yeah.
I think that would be sick. Um, but yeah, dude, Shaboink wrote, all of our politicians are decrepit backwards thinkers and think video games are Pong and Tetris are leading the way.
Yeah.
And it's just like that makes me think of like how boomers always talk about like modern video games. It's like okay, we need to fucking preserve Fortnite or wherever. Like, I remember when it was just a line on the screen. It's like nobody cares. Shut the fuck up. Preserve the damn game.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. I just,
So I think I'm in a similar camp to where I was with the Xbox stuff, where it's like, yeah, this sucks, right? But this again was inevitable. It's the way every form of media is trending to a fully digital climate, and you don't really see people banging on the door in other forms of media. Not to say that we shouldn't, or that Stop Killing Games or the initiative shouldn't go forward. I'm in full support of it. But like when we're talking about game preservation, what are we talking about? Are we talking about our individual gaming libraries, or are we talking about preserving the games so that they exist in some concept or some form?
I think true game preservation is like making sure that video games are labeled as art so that they actually have to be, legally preserved in some form of database or whatever, where like nothing can be lost. And I think that goes as granularly as like making sure that like individual skins in Fortnite are preserved. Like all of this stuff needs to be preserved. And it's not hard. A video game is just a file system. It's
yeah.
just a file system. Like you can just save the files.
I mean, I think it
The
goes both
file's
ways as
corrupt,
well.
right?
What?
Files corrupt, right? I mean, things don't last forever, right? How do you preserve something that doesn't last? Like, I mean, things.
Well, files don't corrupt
degrade.
on their own. Hard drives corrupt files. And there are systems to prevent that, such as like RAID.
I guess what I mean, I'm talking about the individual gaming libraries, because it feels like we're having two different arguments of like preserving and making sure that we have access
I mean,
to.
I think it goes into both. Like, I mean, my Jack and Daxter for example, it's like I'm not going to be able to buy that on a digital storefront. Good thing I have the physical copy. I can still play that if I want.
Sure, but
What
like
happens
again,
when
like you're talking about, like that physical copy will not last forever.
I could buy a
I
new one?
mean,
It's still
Well,
purchasable. It's
so
still tradable.
what I think
But
now we're
eventually
going
there will be a
into-
point where all of the physical copies that were made of Jack and Daxter
Yeah, I'll
will
probably
no
be
longer
dead.
viable.
Yeah, I'll
Look,
probably be dead.
here's-
They'll probably have like.
what I think,
But, like,
we're going a little bit like into fan fiction here, but here's what I think should happen. And this would be like the best outcome, which is like, first of all, it should be much easier. We should commercialize emulation, where it's like right now, emulation is fucking fantastic. Like I can boot up an NES game on my Windows computer right now. The NES was made fucking, what is at this point, 40, 50 years ago. And I can launch an NES game on my modern Windows computer. That's insane.
Allegedly.
But acquiring those ROMs is currently illegal unless you dump your own ROM. I think we should create a digital storefront where companies can very easily just sell the ROMs to their games. Or maybe not even selling the ROMs, but implementing this storefront into emulators themselves. So maybe you don't get access to the ROM file itself for digital rights management situations, but like you can buy these games. Because right now, a big issue with preservation of video games in particular is that platforms die.
Mm-hmm.
And when a platform is dead, there is no way for you to sell the game on the platform. So you need a way to sell the game. And this leads into the second step, which is that, which would force companies to ensure that their games are on the market. So if a game is not, because you can't, again, like this is a whole thing in like the stop killing games thing, is like you can't expect a company to have a game, to sell a game indefinitely. And like that's, a thing that the stop killing games people keep bringing up, which is not a thing that Stop Killing Games is trying to argue. But what you could do is that if a game is not commercially available, the game is free.
Interesting.
So
I mean,
there
and-
is a
Yeah.
database of everything. And if, for example, let's say, I don't know, you got something like, like a game that's never going to come out, the game, like, I don't know, like NES Batman, like who's going to re-release NES Batman? So like right now, that game is not available for purchase anywhere. And I don't think used games are like a valid substitute. Like this game is not commercially available. There's no way for me to give anyone money to buy Batman on the NES. So that means that game should be just free for me to acquire however I want. And that would then encourage the people who actually own the rights to that game to make sure that it is commercially available. Because otherwise they are losing sales. But right now, since it would be illegal for me to go download a ROM for Batman on the NES, nobody's losing any money. Like they're not seeing it that way. But if they are actively required to keep the game on the market, then any moment where it's not on the market is like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
I
that's
don't
what I think
disagree
should
with that,
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds. I mean, I agree.
I just don't see why we can't have it both ways. Like, why can't we have what you're saying and also have the games on a disc or cartridge for the Switch, for example?
Yeah,
like I guess
and
like
also I should also note, like with the thing that the message that I read up before, it's like I'm not against physical games. I think the issue with physical games is there are a lot of people in the physical games community who, like I said, believe it to be some kind of
they
holy grail of
misconstrue that that's
preservation.
preservation.
Yeah, and like back in the day when you had Super Mario Bros. On the NES and that was the entire game, then yes, you could preserve the whole game. But right now, a game on the disc, unless it's like a late release where they have all the patches on the disc, it is not a preserved version of the game. It is just
Mhm.
something you can launch. And in a lot of cases, it's something you can launch and it's not even going to work because it needs the day one patch. So like, it's
Yeah.
completely useless. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, some games have more substantial day one patches than others, but
Mm.
um, that my thing is still like, yes, it's not a perfect preservation, but it's still better than nothing. And also, like it going back to my main issue with it is just the ownership of it. Like even games like the disc, it doesn't have the full game on it, but if I gave a disc to Ryan, he could pop it in his PlayStation. He could download the thing without any issue. Currently, there's no restrictions that PlayStation has that says, "Hey, somebody already downloaded the day one patch from this licensed disc or whatever." It's still movable from one person to the other, and that's like it's literally been maybe it is like a boomer thing or maybe I'm old man shouting to the sky, but like since I've been a kid, like that's been something that you do. You buy a game, you own that physical piece of media, you can do with it what you will. You can return it, you can trade it, you can sell it, you can do whatever you want with it. You can pass it on to your kids, but like that's a whole nother thing of like what happens to our legacy digital libraries when we die. I don't fucking know. That's like a whole nother bag of words
I
that needs
think
to get figured out.
that one is weird to me because like it's like a thing I can't you can't control. So it's like it seems like this is an argument that's only had in the games industry where people are banging on the drum of what happens to the money that I put into these games. You pay money into stuff that you don't get to keep all the time. Like, I mean, and the fact that I pay $60 for a game that I get to enjoy for however long it is. Like,
I mean, other mediums still have physical media. You can still buy movies. You can still buy books. You can still buy vinyls and CDs. Like,
right. What I'm saying is like eventually that will probably stop. Like, I mean, that's just the
dude,
way
vinyls
things
come
should.
back. What do you mean? Like, there's
And maybe games have the same trend, but I doubt it. But I mean,
that's my point. Like,
you'll still see physical media for like limited run, like and things like of that nature. Um,
but will we? Like, I mean, like, listen, I don't know how it works, but like, if PlayStation says, "Hey, you can't physically make a disc for our console to play a game on," limited run can't make
Oh,
that game.
I'm
Like,
not talking about big publishers there. I'm talking about like the
but
indie titles and bigger and more
that's
third
their
party
whole
publishers
business,
and things
though.
like that.
They release an indie game that didn't have a physical copy on PlayStation. Like they'll put the game on PlayStation or Xbox. That business goes away. Like if there's no disk drive to put the thing in, there's nothing that business does anymore.
At this point, the PS6 probably won't even have drives.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't think, but I mean, you could still make the like somebody will figure out a way to make physical media work for like the PlayStation 5, whether it's like a disk drive that you can connect to it, even if Sony doesn't offer one off the bat, which if they don't have a disk drive, I imagine they'll have some way for you to be able to play your PS4 and PS5 games that you have on disc.
yeah. And I mean, what happens to whenever we get to the PS6? How do we get our physical games on there? Like, do we have to rebuy them? Is there going to be a transfer? We don't
Yeah.
fucking know.
Shaboink mentions in the comments, like there was the news of like the rumor of Microsoft having this disk to
Mm,
license program, where if I recall correctly, basically the way it would work is that you can go through a process on an Xbox with a disk drive in order to acquire like a digital license to that game, and you will keep that license until that physical disc is used by another account,
yeah.
which I think is extremely fair.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. I'd just like without any legislation or legalities, what who's to say like anybody's going to adopt it?
Mm.
Like we might be looking at three platforms doing three different things with the way that our media is
That's true.
transferred or
Yeah.
owned. Like that sucks. Like, and I mean, like people shit on Nintendo for the key cards. Like I prefer that over just digital. Like because again, you can have that key card and I can give it to Ryan. He can use it on his Switch. He can download it
Yeah.
from the storefront.
Yeah,
And
this
like,
is the thing that bothers me so much with the whole outrage around game key cards, which is that like you're being so mad about this, and now GTA is being sold with just a code in the box.
With a
And
code.
this is the real problem. But you've been screaming about this for so long that now when the real problem arrives, no one's going to listen to you.
Mhm.
Like, you could still sell the game key card. You could still
exactly.
lend the game key card to a friend. Like, the actual real issues with the game key card is not present in the in the present day to any extent. Like, the issue with the game key card only happens if the game is taken down, which would also happen with a digital game.
Right.
So like, the game key card is a fantastic thing in a lot of ways, but like, with the code in the box, you just add the game to your library and you can't sell
And
it.
that code
You can't
done.
do shit
Like,
with
you
that
can't.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
the game key card is, in my opinion, a really fantastic concept from Nintendo's part from a lot of different angles. And yes,
Mhm.
like, some publishers are using it as a way out of putting the real game on the system. But like, in some cases, I know Ubisoft said that with Star Wars Outlaws, like, the read speeds just weren't fast enough on a regular card. So they had to use a game key card because the game had to be installed on the internal drive, the internal storage for the game to run properly.
Mhm.
But the game key card allowed them to release a version of the game that you can still physically own and sell and lend and whatever, you know. So I think the
Yeah.
game key card is a great concept, and I think Sony should adopt a similar thing. Like, you don't need to have a disk drive to do this. You don't need to have a card slot to do this. You can do this with like a USB stick or whatever. I
Mhm.
don't know. Like, there's still a lot of though I think an SD card is probably cheaper than a USB stick, but like, there's a lot of solutions to doing this that I think they should still do.
I just can't fathom going to a store and buying a case with a little piece of paper and a code that then is useless. Like,
Do
the
you
game
think it
key
still has
cards.
the disc insert? Like the little,
I don't
little
know.
plastic mold for the disc? It's
It
still there. Just
100%
empty?
has. There's no way they're making a different mold.
The game
That's
key card
amazing.
like is a bridge where it's like, well, it doesn't have the game, but it's also still something tangible that you put in there. And again, I own this that actually gives me the ability to then download the thing. Where it's just like, what are we doing when they're like, yeah, we're only gonna distribute to retailers of the digital code, and it's just like, no, who would do that? The only people that would go and buy that are like people that are like buying for a gift, but even that gift is gonna be so empty now. Like,
Mm.
it sucks for kids because, like, I don't know. Well, maybe it doesn't.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
it
know if
sucks.
kids
For
care.
the retail side of it, the nostalgia aspect of that.
Yeah.
I mean, kids will grow up not knowing anything about that, so they probably
Exactly.
won't
Yeah,
care.
that's what I mean. Like,
But for
eventually,
us, it
that's a
sucks.
non-problem.
Yeah, you
But
know,
like,
it's the Thanos thing. After he realized that killing half the universe didn't work, he wanted to give birth to a new grateful universe who didn't know the past universe.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, man, like, I don't know.
The
I'm bummed. I'm super bummed about it. And again, this is coming from somebody that buys all digital, most like 90% digital. Like, sucks.
I'm gonna work in a more likely question here. Do y'all think it's more likely that GTA's decision to go completely digital expedited Sony's timeline, or did Sony already have plans to like announce this in conjunction with the GTA announcement?
Oh, I think they absolutely had plans for the PS6 to not have a disc drive. I don't think they would have announced it here, except for the GTA 6 of it. Like, I don't
Okay,
know.
so you think it expedited the
Yeah,
announcement?
I
Okay.
think so.
I'm not sure. Maybe because in a lot of ways I see this as just kind of, because a lot of people were kind of doomering over GTA 6, like, oh, this is setting a bad precedent, and then Sony is like, yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Here you go. If I
Look, we're
was
seeing.
if I was
We're-
Sony, I would have done a more Nintendo thing, because honestly, I could see Nintendo eventually following suit to the only digital as well. But like, it seems like they're taking strides to build their platform to sustain that. Like, there's nothing that gives me any confidence that Sony gives a fuck about your ownership or any of that shit, because they just kind of don't. But like before announcing this, I would have liked to have seen them adopt a key card or a sharing game share that's not, ass. Because like they've done game share in the past, but it's not like the Nintendo where it's like, hey, you're friends with this person, cool, swap. Like they should have built their platform around that to at least give peace of mind or something before you just out say like, oh shit, GTA taking that on the fucking lip, or let's go ahead and take it. Like, let's get ahead of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Diego
'Cause, like-
said the piece of paper is the disc in the hole. The code is written on it in circle shape.
A little
I don't know
circular
if you're-
pamphlet.
Yeah, like I don't know if you're serious. Like I don't think they would go that far. I don't know what I'm saying. Like maybe this is a thing already, and I don't know about it. I think it's just like a little piece of paper that's not even attached to anything, dude. It's just in there.
It's just loose in the case.
It's gonna
Yes.
the case is gonna have a little clip, and the paper just slides on the little clip thing. What would be awesome, hey, we're not gonna give you discs. Retailer is just a piece of paper, but also there's gonna be a pamphlet. We're bringing back game pamphlets. Let's go. I miss those so much. I used to love the car ride home, opening up the pamphlet, looking at the characters and the
Yeah.
items. Man, take me back.
It's kind of crazy that we're 4 months out from the launch of GTA 6 and we're already just seeing like insane tidal waves of ramifications from the announcement of this
Yeah.
game or the arrival of this game. Like we're talking about, an all digital future and GTA kind of kickstarting that, and also the $80 thing. Like, I fully expect Sony to follow suit and maybe potentially Xbox on like their
Premier titles
key
being 80.
premier titles are all going to be 80. Like Intergalactic is going to be an $80 title when it releases.
I've talked about this before, but do you know how much GTA 6 is in Sweden?
No.
The same as every other PlayStation first party game. They're
Oh,
just the
really?
same price.
Damn.
So Sony has
That's cool.
made Sony no, this is not cool. Sony's games have just been more expensive this whole time.
Oh, I thought you meant the opposite way, where GTA is cheaper.
Oh,
for
no,
you.
no. Sony is just releasing expensive ass games.
They're already recently expensive. Well,
That
damn.
sucks.
I'm not listen, I'm not that mad about that. Like I kind of don't mind the price skew differences. And maybe this is because I'm a Nintendo stan, but like I kind of like the idea that they can release a Star Fox at 50
Yeah.
and then release a new Kirby game at 60 and then release a Mario Kart at 80 or whatever. Like I like that they can look at the product and say we're going to price this accordingly, 80 being the highest, 40 or 50 being the lowest. I'm not mad about it. Like I would have gladly paid $100 for Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just saying, like if the product is actually worth that, then yeah. Mario Kart, to be seen. Like I still don't know if I agree that should have been the
80.
ceiling.
Yeah.
But
It
like
doesn't make sense.
Also, by the way, another
But
thing
it was
I
a $50 pack-in title, so
yeah,
I mean, there's that.
yeah, exactly. I paid 54 because I got the bundle.
Another thing I want to talk about in regards to the GTA price thing, not really relevant to the conversation, but regardless, it's like I've seen a lot of people use this arguments like, oh, it's actually $100. The $80 version is just the cheap version. It's like, no, it isn't. The $100 version is just
It's
just
useless
every
shit.
other deluxe edition, which just gets a
Yeah.
bunch of skins. But people are being like, no, that's the real version of the game. It's like, dude, they just released a
like-
bunch of screenshots. That's what
They're
they
like,
did.
but they're gating a bunch of shops and stuff behind us. Like, who cares? Dude, GTA 6 is gonna have so much. Like, it's
Yeah,
such a
like-
non-issue. Like,
yeah,
it's unbelievable.
exactly.
Like,
Like
you won't
the-
get to go to 2 shops. Like, fucking pay the $20
Yeah.
if it's worth it to you.
Yeah,
But, like,
the idea that people are trying to make this sound like, oh, this is the real base edition.
yeah.
The other one's the poor edition. It's like, no, it's not. It's
Look
like
at
how
the poor edition.
yeah, it's like how when people wanted something to be outraged about with like Star Wars Outlaws, and like Ubisoft had, as they always do, like some like $140 edition, which was like a collector's edition or something like that. And people were like, Star Wars Outlaws is $140. Like, no, it's not. It's just not. Like, it's $70 like every other fucking game, but you just need something to be mad about.
Yeah.
Where do y'all think the line is for who can charge $80 for their game and who can't? Because like didn't Xbox try to do this with Outer Worlds 2 last year, right? Where they were announced it at 80 and then they kind of walked
Yeah.
it back because of the
They walked it
reception.
back.
I don't think anyone's going to make $80 games. I think anyone's gonna try is gonna realize real fast that it doesn't work, because
I mean,
again,
Nintendo.
this is
they did
fucking
it.
GTA. Like, I think a lot of people are taking like what GTA is doing as like way too much of an indicator of what everyone else is gonna do. Everyone else, you can just look at the release calendar, man. Nobody's releasing in November because they know that GTA 6 is a fucking phenomenon waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And they know that their game doesn't have that power, because if they did, they wouldn't be moving their games out of November. And
I don't know.
But and
I
the
feel like
only
you're-
other company that knows their games have power like this is Nintendo. And
Yeah,
also,
I was-
Nintendo is not pricing every one of their games at $80. They're pricing
And
their
also-
biggest
yeah.
hits at $80.
And also,
the ones
the
that they
digital
know are
version
gonna
is
sell.
$10 cheaper.
Yes.
So, like,
Did Curly
Oh,
die?
did we lose? Curly died.
as a
Oh, he's back.
something to like.
Curly
guess-
died.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like I love that Nintendo also came out and like they price skewed where digital's $10 cheaper. Like, it would have been nice to see Sony maybe mention something along those lines, where it's like, we're going to also offset some of the costs to the consumer, since we don't have to worry about the retailer or the packaging and all that. But like, that's nowhere to be seen. Like, the games are not going to be $10 cheaper because they're all digital on PlayStation.
Yeah, true.
If anything, they might go to that $80, maybe $10 more.
I wouldn't be shocked if Sony hit us with Intergalactic being an $80 title.
Yeah.
From their,
Yeah, but
from,
I
from
think
the
that's
premiere,
like the one game that they can probably justify being $80.
and Xbox will try it for sure. With what
Yeah,
game, I'm not sure.
They're
but
gonna try it with fucking Clockwork Revolution and keep killing that game in more ways.
Yeah, it's another rake, bro. It's another rake.
Yeah. Matt Booty's like, here's another rake. We can price this game that we've already essentially killed $80. Like, yes, another rake for me to step on. Thank you, Matt Booty.
Jesus. Yeah.
So by the way, on the $80 thing, with the release of these new Knockout Tour rallies in Mario Kart World, I'm wondering if the $80 thing with Mario Kart World is Nintendo's way of turning Mario Kart World into an ongoing game without using microtransactions. Because the game was admittedly a little bit low on content on release, and I think this is like intentional, possibly, where it's like, oh, you're paying in advance for all the content that's going to be released over time.
I initially thought that would be the case. It's just being more than a year out and only getting what we've gotten so far is just like oh, maybe not. Like, maybe they really did just say, yo, pay the $80, suck it.
Yeah,
but
like,
like,
I think they're gonna be seeing a lot more over time. This is gonna be like
so. The fact that we never saw anything Donkey Kong Bonanza related is insane to me. It's insane.
Why not?
I still think it's coming. I mean, I don't know what the
one day Ryan is gonna replay Donkey Kong Bonanza, and when he gets to the Diddy Kong part, it's gonna be like Diddy Kong is now in Mario Kart World. Go play it now.
That would have been sick, dude. I'm just saying.
It would have been sick, yeah. It would have been crazy.
Some stupid Randy race. That was cool.
Isn't Fortune's Weave $80?
Is it?
I think the physical. Yeah, I think it's technically a $70 title, but $80 if you're buying the physical. So Nintendo's already there on the $80. So
yeah, true. What?
Whew. Bashanza.
Bushels. All right.
What do y'all
well,
think? Do y'all think the Switch 3 is going to be a digital only, or whatever Nintendo's next console?
No, I think
Mm.
Nintendo realizes the value of physical games, hence why they did game key cards to begin
Yeah,
with.
I had the same thought, and I don't really know why. It just seems like Nintendo values their stuff more like they like the physicality. They still make amiibos, and like they
Mm.
still treat their games as toys.
I
So
mean,
like having
did you
something
guys
tangible
did you guys
seems
see that
important.
tweet where it's like, here's what's happening this week in all the three major
Oh
platform
yeah,
Oh
holders?
yeah.
It was like
the
Sony
fucking
announces
Yoshi.
the death of physical games, Xbox kills their whole business or whatever the fuck, and then Nintendo like, here's a Yoshi that can extend its tongue.
The Splatoon gun tweet. Oh yeah, that was good. Man, yeah, it's wild. Ooh, we're in
It
for
like,
it, guys.
I
Like,
just don't
I
what I just don't understand. It's like, how do you not look at Nintendo and see a blueprint for how to structure your entire fucking business? Where it's like the way
Can't
that they
model
have
after Nintendo.
the way that they've nurtured their franchises and how they cannot just capitalize off the game sales itself, but they have these iconic characters that they have made that they have very much in the last like 10 years started to capitalize on with merchandise and toys and all this stuff way more than they used to do in the past. Like, it just makes so much sense. You can make so much more money without having to
yeah.
make more games. Like, Nintendo releases like one Yoshi game every decade, and Yoshi is the most relevant character, like that they and one of the most relevant characters they have. They can just drop a toy and make a bunch of money on it.
Is
Yeah.
and like I was thinking about this the other day of excuse me, of why I just feel, because I know Nintendo's often greedy and whatnot. They are still a corporation, but they don't come across as corporate greedy to me as like our Sony. And I'm like, they're both Japanese companies, but Nintendo feels way more Japanese than Sony. And I don't know if that's because of the Western influence of Sony.
Well,
And I know Nintendo has that
PlayStation
precedence too. Like I don't.
PlayStation isn't a Japanese company anymore. Like the PlayStation um
Yeah, I guess you're right.
department or whatever the fuck it is. Like, that's based in the US now. Yeah, Sony as a whole is of course a Japanese company.
Yeah, I guess that is the difference. Like, I mean, like it just it just seems like they care about not only their teams, their employees, but also their consumers, um, at a more humane moral level.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean,
I think that's what it is. Like, you can't copy that blueprint because
Yeah.
money.
yeah, like you
And the
can't
time it
ignore
takes.
you can't ignore the fact that everyone is like just hauling employees out of their companies at an alarming rate, and then Nintendo's like, let's increase our base salary by
Yeah,
10%.
it's like what? Do they have
It's
people that have lifelong careers? Like,
Yeah.
Nintendo's
and I
also
get
not this model of perfection either. I mean, they've had downturns the same way that not
true.
to Xbox's degree that they're having now, or even to Sony's degree during the
Hey,
PlayStation
man, we
3
survived
era.
the Wii U.
But
All right, we did
but
it.
the Wii
We
era,
out
the
here.
Wii U era was pretty dark for Nintendo, and
Yeah, but
Some amazing games.
even though
Amazing
it
games.
was a really dark era, they fucking persevered. They like Iwata cut his salary in half just to make sure that they didn't have to let anyone go. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just so different. But on that note though, like, I am a little bit worried about the current leadership of Nintendo. Like, they seem I am a little bit worried that like Switch 2 is Nintendo resting on their laurels. Like, this is just like, this is the first console they've made that's called console
sequel,
name
yeah.
too. You
Yeah.
know, and I
Well,
hope
I
that
mean, they've
doesn't
done like
mean
the new 3DS or whatever, but that's
yeah,
not
but
the same
that was
level.
a revision.
Yeah.
I mean, their second one was just called the Super Nintendo. If that's just kind of screams Nintendo too, in a sense as well, you know.
Yeah, but it was at least a little bit more
Yeah.
creative than just console
Yeah, no,
2.
I still say
Yeah.
Super Switch would have been a slam dunk, but
Super Switch would have been sick.
Yeah.
I would have been down for that.
Super Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that would have been sick. Come on, let's live in that timeline.
please.
No, I
Uh,
agree actually. And that's why I was like, well, the Switch 3, and then I'm like, well, I could easily see Nintendo pivoting on the next console just because they like I guess they do a lot of crack or something. I don't know, but they just come up with some crazy bonkers decisions sometimes that you just can't predict. Like the Switch 2 being the one outlier where it's like we can't stop riding this train, but like at the end of the Switch 2 life cycle, we're gonna feel like we're there again. Like can't get rid of the hybrid console. You can't break out into two consoles. So what do you do? Like I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, they didn't really iterate too much. I mean, they did the mouse controls for Switch 2. They're really going hardcore into the mouse controls, which whatever. But
dude, the mouse controls are actually kind of fun. Like I've played a little bit of Metroid and Star Fox. Dude, the Star Fox mouse control is pretty sick. Like because you could like if you do the multiplayer aspect of it, one person flies the ship, the other person aims and shoots. It's at least fun Nintendo clever goofiness. Which, by the way, holy shit, y'all!
On the Star Fox thing, can you do like independent control and aiming as just one player?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like one player is the pilot, one player is the
No. Can you do the independent control and aiming as just one player?
Oh, I guess you could just in the multiplayer mode.
That's so awkward. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Man, Star Fox. That remake is real good, man. Oh my god. The multiplayer is actually really fun. I jumped into it. I hope they support that. I really hope they push that a little further.
Not.
I know, but man, there's so much potential. Like it's legitimately like good matchmaking and like clever ideas on like mission structure. Like they cooked, man. They cooked with that remake.
Almost like it was made by a studio that made another great multiplayer game.
Yeah, dude, I need more maps in Star Fox. Like I really do hope, but I am, sound mind. I doubt they will, but we'll see.
Any closing thoughts on these two topics? The Xbox, PlayStation. Who's in a worse spot right now?
Xbox.
Xbox.
Like
yeah,
even
Xbox
though
for
people
sure. I think it's done.
Even
like,
though
I think they're cooked, bro.
Even though there's like a lot of like valid reasons to hate on PlayStation right now, like their business is not going to be impacted by this at all. I am considering actually canceling my PlayStation Plus subscription because let's be honest, I don't really use my PlayStation very much anymore. So I don't really need it.
PC gamer over here.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that? Like, if you cancel your PlayStation subscription now, you can get a discount. Not necessarily because of this. I think that was already in place, but people found out, so everybody's doing that now. I was considering it.
Mine just re-upped. Like
my closing thoughts are everything fucking sucks, but like games are still good. Like we are seeing some of the highest quality video games we've ever seen from a lot of talented studios. And if I just, if I'm being honest, I hope things kind of do freeze up a little bit. There's no rush to the next console cycle. This is the first time that I really hope there is a lot of blend of like cross generation titles. I don't feel the power need to be like, I need the next best thing. I don't even have a PS5 Pro. And games sing on my current PlayStation. Like, I think we're at a point in time where things probably should slow down and just let the software be the software. And I don't know how the physical stuff is gonna impact the legislation, but I hope that it happens sooner than later. I'm not feeling very optimistic, unfortunately. But again, like it sucks being a gamer right now, but it also is the best time to be one because, again, the amount of just golden games that we've been getting lately is just insane. So, yeah.
Yep. No, I agree. I tend to try to focus on that side of things. I know these topics are fun to engage on and share ideas and thoughts on them, but mostly they're just out of our control with Xbox, imploding on itself and Sony doing its thing. I just yeah, it sucks. It's negative, but again, there's so many games to play. There's so many different ways to enjoy video games right now, and I just tend to focus on that because no matter what the giant publishers end up doing, I'm still gonna find ways to play video games and enjoy them. So.
What I wanted to note on the, I think I've said this before, but like with the whole PlayStation thing, it's like if PlayStation had continued to make PC releases of their like single player games, there probably would have been an extremely likely scenario where I wouldn't buy a PlayStation 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Me too. But like, there's probably still a low chance that I'm gonna buy a PS6 at least at launch. And like, if things keep getting more expensive,
Yeah,
I'm probably not gonna either.
let's hope the AI bubble explodes.
Yeah,
Death.
I mean, it has to, right?
Let's hope Sam Altman takes his fucking Lambo and drives it off a cliff.
Yeah.
Before we conclude for the night,
the one thing I want to note,
go ahead,
ahead of time, or another one as well here, was that Mario Kart Tour, as you mentioned before, is dying, but a lot of fans have like basically remade every missing course from the booster course.
Nice.
Like every course that wasn't in the booster course pass have basically been remade by fans. If you have like if you have like a modded Switch or using like a Switch emulator or something, so you can those courses are like preserved in some way in a game that's much better than Tour.
Nice.
Dude,
Yeah.
I because it together with the Tour thing, like people were saying like, oh, if you play it right now, it's the Pipe Tour or whatever, which has like one of the few original tracks that they made for Tour, called the Piranha Plant Pipeline. It's a good track. I liked it a lot. But man, Tour fucking sucks, dude. It plays so bad. It was just like hell trying to race through that course. I did it twice and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna play this anymore. But yeah, I am interested though in, have you guys looked into custom tracks at all for like Mario Kart 8? There are a lot of like really cool custom tracks. So I'm interested in setting that up, play some custom tracks because it looks pretty cool.
That'd be cool, dude. Underrated game, and I wish the franchise would have been a franchise. But Mod Nation Racer had a really cool like in-game custom track
builder. Yeah,
I loved Mod Nation Racers, dude.
Oh my god, the drifting in that game was so good. Oh my god, it was the probably the best kart racer after Crash Team Racing.
Mod Nation Racer was good shit, dude.
Yeah,
it was indeed.
Bring it back. Bring it back, Sony.
Yes.
Before we conclude for the night, we're going to end the show with a game. If you're following us on any of our socials,
we also have to mention
If you interrupt me one more time, David.
We also have to mention that there's a rumor for a Dino Crisis remake.
That's true.
And that's it.
We said no good news on this podcast, and you said it before we went live. What are you doing?
I mean, some people hate dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And apparently this is in addition to the Resident Evil remakes that are in production.
Right. Dude, Capcom, they're in their fucking
let's fucking go, man.
King shit.
Dennis is Swedish baby boy and mother. Ryan is confusing the Dennis is Swedish baby man. Get it right. Anyway, before we conclude that, we're gonna do a game to
Swedish
end the
baby mother.
podcast. If you're following us on socials, you'll know that we've been pumping out some short form content like crazy lately. A couple times. Make sure you're followed so you get those updates. We're gonna get in a nice quick one real quick. Dennis hates these keep four cut fours, so currently this is probably gonna be all you, unless Dennis you want to join in. Tonight we're gonna be. I'm gonna change the pace a little bit, and tonight's gonna be video game protagonist and antagonist duos. So I'm gonna give you 8 duos of the protagonist and antagonist from a game, and you're gonna keep 4 and you're gonna cut 4.
I'm confused.
So like how they are as like the relationship between the two, or like how iconic that relationship between the protagonist of the game and the antagonist of the game is. And you're gonna
So,
keep
like,
4 and you're gonna cut 4.
It's still keeping 4, but there's 8 characters.
No,
There's
you're
8.
he's
There's
talking
16
about
characters.
he's gonna present them in pairs. Like you're
Right.
keeping 4 pairs and
Okay.
Cutting 4.
I'm
pairs.
sure I'll
Exact
get it
4
whenever you
pairs.
say them.
Okay. So keep 4, cut 4, protagonist, antagonist edition. Curly, your first duo is going to be Sonic and Eggman.
Ooh. Oh, man, that's hard because I don't know what's after, but like that's iconic, right? But
You'll keep doing this. That's the game. This is hard because I don't know what's after. Y'all say this
Yeah.
every time.
well,
yeah,
it's
almost
true.
it's
Like
a weird
I don't know
contrived
that
game.
Sonic and Eggman really
It's the game.
like.
I
Are we
don't-
talking about just games now? Or are we talking about like is the movie or like
Just games. We're just gonna do games.
Because like I don't know, do they really have that much chemistry in the games? Not really. I guess I'll cut it.
Cutting Sonic and Eggman.
Now it's gonna
next
bring up
up-
fucking Bubsy the podcast and whatever villain is in that
And a
game.
trash can or some bullshit.
I gave
Yeah.
you one game that isn't a banger in RuneScape Dragon Wilds, dude. You gotta be kidding me.
I love that word. Dennis is just like, bro. Like, I
Dennis
thought you were
hates
gonna make
games,
this
that's
hard
the
to
narrative.
Cut. Like, I don't care about any of this shit.
All right. Next up, you have Madeline and Badeline.
I mean, I'm
from
gonna keep that.
Celeste.
I'm gonna keep that shit, dude. That's like, all jokes aside, because like those aren't like the most iconic, but like the storytelling between Madeline and Madeline is goated. Like, I mean, like that the mental health stuff that you deal with and witness, like if y'all ain't played Celeste, y'all are missing out. You gotta play it. Keep that, John.
After that, I'm going to give you Crash and Neocortex.
Oh, dude, you gotta keep crashing Neocortex, bro. You want to talk about chemistry? They're fucking on the side. You don't even know it, dude. Also, it's a story about learning to love yourself and your flaws. Go back to Battleline. I'm sorry. Like,
Following that, we got Cloud and Sephiroth.
Can we talk about how sad it's gonna be when we're gonna play Revelation and Cloud is Sephiroth and it's not gonna say Cloud in the way that he
Still gonna
says
say
it.
Still gonna say it.
Look, I'm gonna give my hot take here. I don't think Cloud is a good character just in general. Like,
the
he's
fuck?
cool. He's fucking cool, but like his character,
This take is
like he
ice
doesn't.
cold.
He's more of a silent protagonist. You know, like Crash Bandicoot says "whoa" all the time. You know.
Well, people on the internet, thank you for joining us. We're going to conclude there.
No,
I hate this guy.
I'm joking. I'm gonna keep it.
Cloud and Sephi getting kept. After that, I'm going to give you red and blue.
Cut.
Red doesn't even
If you would have
talk.
said like
Cutting
my
red and
red
blue.
and Gary, because that was my rival. I think I kept that bitch named Blue. Hell no. I was watching the anime, dog.
After that, you're getting Ellie and Abby.
Oh, damn it. Wait, is there one more to cut after this?
You have 3 keeps and 2 cuts so far.
You gotta keep this, bro. You gotta keep it.
Yeah, but
Just
he's
to-
gonna
just
give me
to
like
refresh.
Mario and Bowser, and I'm gonna feel like
Yeah.
shit.
He's
Just to
also gonna
refresh-
he's also gonna give you a fucking cool spot on whatever the villain of that game was.
just to refresh.
Um, you know what? I'm
You're-
gonna keep
you-
them just because fuck you haters of Last of Us 2. Abby's
Yes.
brilliant, and their dynamic together is amazing. And the game isn't just about Ellie getting revenge; it's about the cycle of revenge. Actually, like play the game and learn a fucking thing of context. You fucking schlub. The internet. You know what? I'm gonna just talk about it. Y'all suck. Y'all really
Exactly,
suck with The
yes.
Last of Us 2 takes. It's an amazing story. It's told so brilliantly. It's one of the
Preach, brother.
greatest video game stories of all time. And you know what? I didn't like Abby either at first. And I saw what they were trying to do. And I was like, you think I'm going to fall in love with this character? You're stupid. And I was stupid because I actually have a heart and I can actually comprehend good storytelling. You jackass, you stupid idiot behind your little keyboard. Oh, the game was supposed to be about Joel and Ellie. Says fucking who? Let them tell a good story, you cowards.
Exactly. Yes,
keep-
preach, Curly. Now you're gonna
Jump in.
talk about Mario and Bowser.
Proud of you. So you are out of keeps. Your last 2 cuts are going to be Ratchet and Dr. Nefarious.
Oh, dude, I would have cut that shit in a heartbeat. Who cares? Oh my god.
And your final cut is, of course, Mario and
Mario and
Bowser.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't hate it. It's similar to the Sonic Eggman thing where it's like, of course it's an iconic duo. But like,
What's the chemistry, you know?
yeah, what's the chemistry? I don't see Bowser and
I-
Mario fucking on the side.
Is that what you based this all on?
What's their chemistry, bro?
If that was your if that was the context for your keep cuts, I'm so happy that you cut the 10 and 11-year-old red and blue.
No, I would probably
My goodness.
I would probably swap Neocortex Crash for Mario and Bowser if I'm being real.
That's
But
fair.
I'm not mad at my decision, honestly, because I do think Neocortex is great. It's just yeah, I know Bowser
Is that the
and
only change
Mario.
you'd make?
That is a change I would make, but yeah, I'm not upset at all. That's a good list. I stand by every one of those decisions.
Just for recap purposes, you are cutting Sonic and Eggman, Red and Blue, Ratchet and Dr. Nefarious, and Mario and Bowser, and you are keeping Madeline and Battleline, Crash and Neocortex, Cloud and Sephiroth, and Ellie and Abby.
Yeah, I ain't mad about that.
Wait, where's Cool
It's a pretty good list.
Cool Spot and
I don't even know the
flat
antagonist.
7
Does
Up.
Cool Spot have an antagonist?
It's flat
Like,
soda.
what are you on, dude? Like,
I don't know, fucking
It's an amorphous blob of soda
Yeah.
that goes flat and he's angry. What do you mean?
there
Yeah.
was
Did you play the
one
game?
bad game on that entire list, Dennis. One. And it's not even a bad game. It's a game that people genuinely like.
I don't know, the
Wait,
fucking
did you
Sprite
just admit
Company or
Ratchet and Clank's a
whatever.
bad game? Because I
No,
I
I'm
agree.
talking about his Keep 4
No,
Cut
you
4
said it, bro.
from,
What's the
from
bad
2
game?
weeks ago. No, that's not what I said. I hate this beautiful Swedish bastard. Good people of the internet, thank you so much for joining us. The VOD will be up tomorrow. We can find us on podcasts after that. We'll be posting some clips throughout the
Sorry,
week.
Diego. Celeste is my favorite breathing simulator. It's so good. You have to play it to know it. It's a really good one. Oh, I cried at that moment. It was great. Sorry. Close the show, Ryan. Jeez, what are you waiting for?
You both suck and you're gonna burn in hell. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you next time on
Glad hell
Family
doesn't exist.
Variety Show next week. Y'all have a great one. Adios. Now we awkwardly wave goodbye. I said awkwardly, Dennis.
Dude, you so awkward right now? Oh my god. I can't tell which way the wind is blowing.
This is what I call the 3-body problem wave.
Free body
What?
problem? What?
Are we off air?
No,
Why are we still waving in
It's
the
because
show?
there's
you
three of
wanted
us.
it to be awkward.
There's
My
nothing
arm
more
hurts.
awkward than not ending the stream. It's-